27 years in the making, former 1AA Yankee Conference foes meet once again in Newark. Now both as members of the FBS. It's Delaware hosting Connecticut for the first time since 1998. Hello, everyone, and welcome into Delaware Stadium. I'm Scott Klatskin alongside Fritz Stuber, and a rivalry is renewed this afternoon, not only for these two teams, but for UConn quarterback Joe Fignano, who lost twice to Delaware earlier in his career. But for the seventh-year quarterback, this time around in Newark, he's brought a whole lot more weapons.
Yeah, UConn is loaded offensively, Scott, and it does all start with Joe Fignano, the veteran signal caller. He knows where the football's going. He's efficient. He's tough. And he's got a great playmaker on the outside in Skylar Bell, who can take one to the house at any time. And their balance is in the backfield with their thunder and lightning combo of Mel Brown and Cam Edwards behind a really good O-line for UConn.
As we look at Delaware's offense, they've already had to make a switch at quarterback. Zach Marker, QB1, coming into the year, out for the season, week 1. So in comes Nick Minicucci, and today he'll look to get Delaware back in the win column.
Yeah, Nick Minicucci started 6 of the last 7 for the Hens. And for them to have success today, they're going to need Nick to protect the football and be efficient with it and really be the catalyst to drive this thing for the Blue Hens.
An FBS opponent will play inside Delaware Stadium for the first time since the 80s. It's the UConn Huskies and the Delaware Blue Hens, and it's next on ESPN+.
At the University of Delaware, our classrooms are idea incubators. Nearby beaches are our research laboratories. Our Blue Hen spirit leads to bold adventures. We learn, challenge, explore, and triumph together. Because here at UD, nothing is out of reach. No limits, all possibilities. The University of Delaware.
These two teams have met 27 times. The last time, 27 years ago. And a whole lot has changed since these two programs met as members of the FCS. But what's old is now new again, as these former rivals will meet both as members of the FBS. Scott Klatskin, Fritz Stuber with you from Delaware Stadium, where it's a beautiful day for football as the Blue Hens will face the UConn Huskies for the first time since 1998.
Yeah, Scott, really an exciting game here. UConn had a tough loss last week at Syracuse in overtime. Delaware was on the road and really hung with Colorado for a long time, but obviously Colorado pulled that one away in the end. This is a really big matchup. Really excited to see what we have here in store this afternoon at Delaware Stadium.
Delaware won the toss, decided to defer to the second half, and so UConn will get the football first. You see Ryan Carty. I'm loving that old school baseball hat that Ryan Carty is wearing this afternoon. I know a lot of people that want to find those in the bookstore. That's the baseball cap. Hey, old school matchup, old school D on the hat of Ryan Carty, who is has never been below 500 as the head coach of the Delaware Blue Hens. He'll look to stay that way. Going to have to beat a tough UConn opponent, though, to stay above 500 after the loss at Colorado a week ago. As typical, off the leg of Nate Reed, a touchback for UConn. And so the Huskies will come out. Let's take a look at the quarterback spotlight, sponsored by Christiana Care for the love of health. And today, Joe Fignano makes his triumphant return to Delaware Stadium. Played against the Hens in that COVID spring season in the opener in 2021, and then again in the fall opener. But he's a guy that's very accurate for this offense.
Very accurate, a really good veteran, 7th year playing college football. That sounds like a treat to me, Scott. I'm quite jealous of Joe.
You were almost on the 7-year plan as the first play goes to the outside. And that's Mel Brown, a guy that is the lightning to Cam Edwards' thunder, a senior from Stone Mountain, Georgia.
Yeah, Mel Brown's a guy that's going to be able to take one all the way to the house today, and Delaware's going to have to do a really good job of keying in on him when he has the football.
Brown, 14 carries, 155 yards on the season, and they'll go to him again. This time not much. It'll be third down for UConn.
And that's a really nice defense there by Delaware. And Delaware runs this unique 3-3-5 set that UConn obviously also runs, but there's different variations as we're going to get a look here. This is filled really quickly. Dylan Traynor gets in the mix. This thing stretches outside. Delaware's bringing some guys in, fresh bodies for a big third down here. But a key to today's game is UConn has seen the 3-3-5 look many times. Who's going to be able to capitalize and take advantage of what they're seeing and be efficient?
An early 3rd down and 7 for UConn. Vignano has some time, fires it. It's behind his intended receiver, Shamar Porter. Can't come up with his 5th catch of the season. And a Delaware, a stop to start things off. UConn will send the punt unit out.
Yeah, a really nice stop there for Delaware. Exactly what you want if you're Coach Carty and the Delaware defense, to be able to get off the field. A rare miss there for Joe Fignano. He's a really accurate passer. Was just a little bit off on that pass there to Shamar Porter.
And the punt off to Kyrie Duplessis. Talk about who he's replacing when we come back. Jake Thal, a big star for Delaware, out today as the offense comes on the field. We'll take a timeout, our first one here at Delaware Stadium. First look at the Delaware offense this afternoon, led by that man, Nick Minicucci, getting his 2nd consecutive start.
Yeah, Nick Minicucci, a guy who had over 300 yards passing last week at Colorado in the loss. We'll see what he has in store this afternoon.
First play will go to Joe Silver, and got out of a busy spot up front to pick up a few. And we'll have to keep an eye on the offensive line as you see what Nick Minicucci has done this season. Coming in for QB1, Zach Marker, who was out for the season on his first scramble of the year against Delaware State. But on the offensive line, we do understand that Patrick Shupp, listed as questionable, don't see him out there. And that's a big loss at left guard for this Delaware squad. On 2nd down, dropped is Nick Minicucci, and that's Sione Moa, the transfer from BYU.
And that's Moa comes here. We're going to get a really good look at it. Moa's going to come flying through here unblocked on a blitz. And Delaware's going to have to do a really good job. You're just talking about it with Patrick Shupp not in the game right now for the Hens. Has started 26 consecutive games. That's something that we're going to have to keep an eye on here as Stephen Dombowski is in at center starting for the Blue Hens.
And check that. That was Brian Parham who came in with the sack. The PA announcer here at Delaware said Moa as well. I wasn't alone. And a big toss that time for a first down pickup for Delaware. After the sack, they find Wilson and get into UConn territory.
Yeah. Again, we're going to get a really nice picture here from Nick Minicucci where he's throwing the out route here. A nice corner route, a really good pitch, a really good catch. Delaware's going to need him to continue to do that here this afternoon and do it really well.
Minicucci, 64% completion on the season, 50% a week ago against some man coverage in Boulder. A flag thrown on the play, our first penalty of the game.
And he kind of zips this one out here. We're going to see here Delaware's passing offense on the season, 301 yards per game, which is really a classic. And we're going to get a pass interference call here as Minicucci zips one out to the back shoulder here. But back to kind of Delaware's identity as an offense. Coach Carty likes to run a ton of plays, whether it's a obvious passing down or an obvious running down. He's going to call the best play that he thinks can get them in a position to convert first downs, score touchdowns, and obviously there with the stat we just saw, over 300 yards passing a game, he loves to air it out.
After the penalty, a first down. Silver has a crease, makes a cut, gets inside the 15.
Silver on the carry.
What a finish here by Silver, who is a guy that Delaware hasn't really been able to get going yet from a rushing perspective. He's dangerous catching it out of the backfield. But here you can see he's got some wiggle. He's got some real burst. I think for Delaware to have a successful afternoon here, they're going to need number 27 to get some mojo and get some real positive yards.
This is his biggest pickup of the season that time. They'll go back to Joe. Joe almost broke free of Umar Diamande, which is not easy to do. Another flag, though,
late
thrown
flag
on the run.
Here. This might be offensive holding, it looks like. Oh.
Hands to the face. Defense number 20.
Wow. Well, the offensive holding that I forecasted was incorrect, but hands to the face. Ball doesn't move a ton forward here on the personal foul, being obviously here in the red zone, but if you're Delaware, what an opening possession, what an opening drive. Here we're going to get a look of Joe Silver falling forward. You get a real sense for how physical of a runner that he is. Obviously, we mentioned earlier he was on the Doak Walker watch list this season. We're getting a look now at Delaware's offensive stats, 110 yards per game, rushing.
It'll be Minicucci keeping it himself and finishing an opening drive for the Hens that leads to 6.
What a score here by Nick Minicucci. A little zone read, he keeps it, is able to skirt into the end zone for 6. What an impressive opening drive here for the Blue Hens. The home crowd's loving it, the sidelines loving it. And a lot of different things here, a lot of run, a lot of pass. And Nick Minicucci's a guy that we opened it. He's going to throw it a lot, but obviously has the ability with his legs to make plays and made a nice touchdown run there for the Blue Hens.
Look familiar. Second rush touchdown of the season for Nick Minicucci. On for the PAT is Reed, and 7 plays, 73 yards, and 2:34 off the clock makes Delaware up 7-0 to start on ESPN+.
Here's Ben. Oh, the dagger! Touchdown, Bearcats!
The Delaware Department of Labor connects Delaware employers to the qualified employees they're looking for.
We create that magic of bringing the perfect employee to the perfect employer.
Job seekers are looking for good wages, a future, good benefits, and an opportunity to grow.
JobLink is a great tool for employees and employers who are trying to connect.
Go to joblink.delaware.gov to find more qualified candidates and instantly upload your job opportunity for free. The Delaware Department of Labor.
There is help, there is hope.
And here is where you find it.
When it comes to your healthcare, you expect the best. Christiana Care is recognized as one of the world's best hospitals for excellence in quality and safety, outcomes, and patient satisfaction, and is one of the most trusted healthcare brands in the country. So when it comes to your healthcare, trust the best. Expert clinicians, innovative treatment options, compassionate caregivers. And at Christiana Care, we add in something special, love. It's at the heart of everything we do. We are here for you, for the love of your health.
Delaware goes 73 yards on their opening drive. Nick Minicucci punches it in to the end zone. A 21-yard run by Joe Silver got him close, and Nick did the rest, but can't ask for a better start defensively for the Hens. A 3-and-out, and offensively, 7 on the board.
Yeah, very impressive opening drive for Delaware, and now it flips to UConn. Obviously lost, we mentioned, in overtime last week to Syracuse. were up 11 with about 4 minutes and 30 seconds left in that game to then lose in overtime. When we met with Coach Moore and his staff, it was all about, hey, okay, we're going to turn the page. We have a tough group. We know how to regroup. They had a great week in practice. Well, here they are on the road again, kind of get punched in the mouth by Delaware on that opening possession. How are they going to be able to respond here? And they're going to have to lean on Joe Fignano, their veteran quarterback, to get something going here for them offensively.
Another touchback for Delaware, and UConn will start same place that they did on the opening drive. You see Mel Brown will be out there, part of that dynamic duo. Thunder and Lightning, maybe overused a bit when describing big running backs and faster running backs, but it fits. It fits for UConn with Cam Edwards and Mel Brown.
And I'm a sucker for some good coach speak. I love some good coach speak, but you know, and it is true. You know, they're both downhill physical runners. They can barrel over guys. They can bust 170 yards to the house. But, you know, I'd like to see Skylar Bell get a couple looks here on this possession for the Huskies.
Well, they'll start with Brown, picking up just a few. UConn putting up big numbers against Central Connecticut State in their opening game. And now a player is down, and that looks like it may be Brown.
That is Brown down. We're going to get a look here at, you know, it looks like a pretty routine tackle there, as something maybe around the knees or ankles, which is not what you want here if you're UConn. You know, you're trying to get some mojo, trying to get a little momentum. Mel Brown's obviously one of your bell cow backs. And this is where UConn's going to continue to have to lean on their really good offensive line here. And you hate to see Mel Brown down still with what looks to be some type of lower body injury.
Brown being checked on.
You know, at the same time, too, if you're UConn, you say to yourself, hey, we got Cam Edwards now that can come into this football game and keep going, as we're getting a look at Brown walking off on his own. So that's good to see if you're a Husky fan.
Brown's so important to this team that they thought they might have lost him in April, decided to enter the transfer portal, which is common nowadays for anybody. Just you listen to maybe the wrong person or wrong information. Who's to say whether it's right or wrong, but entered on April 25th and then withdrew on April 30th. 5 days later, he knew, hey, you know what? This is the place for me.
Yeah, I had a really nice bowl game in their win at the Fenway Bowl. 96 yards on 11 carries, tested the waters, and I know Husky Nation's happy to have him back in stores.
And they've got Cam Edwards coming in for Brown. Picks up a few there. Again, it's going to be third down, though, for UConn, who had a 3-and-out on the opening drive, as Delaware allowing 24 points per game, more versus Colorado, less versus Delaware State. I think for Delaware, they've played just two different types of teams to start the season,
yeah,
with an FCS program in Delaware State out of the MEAC, and then you play a team like Colorado week 2. So third down here for Fignano. He's got 3 to left side. They'll put it on the ground and trying to fight for first down yardage. It's Cam Edwards' second effort, I believe, that got him there.
Yeah, he's able to kind of really just peel off there at the end before Gavin Wool, a really nice linebacker for Delaware, is able to finally make the plays. He's kind of stoned there, runs into his own guy, but is able to fall forward for a massive first down for UConn.
On first down, screen passes completed and wrapped up right at the spot by Blake Matthews with Skylar Bell, their star wide receiver. Good for Delaware to see Blake Matthews back, the senior transfer from Troy a season ago. They're high on him. He missed the Colorado game with an injury.
Yeah, and Matthews is a guy here. We're going to get a really nice look of him kind of run out to the flat, be able to tackle a ball in space on a game breaker for UConn and Skylar Bell. That's a really nice play by Blake Matthews.
Under 10 minutes, first quarter. Empty backfield, they'll go to it again. Saw something they liked with Bell, and I think there's a whole lot to like with Bell when he's got the football in his hand. A senior, transferred from Wisconsin a couple seasons ago, picks out the first down there.
Yeah, UConn's starting to spread it out here a little bit, maybe trying to get a feel for that 3-3-5 of what Delaware's going to run. You know, UConn sees it on their own guys all through training camp, and then you don't game plan for it on a week-in, week-out basis.
Here's Edwards down the sideline, sprinting, staying in bounds, and scoring. Cam Edwards with a touchdown for UConn.
And there's the answer that you need if you're UConn. Again, we said it at the beginning. What a play. What a game-breaking run. Cam Edwards, a guy that is obviously a big, thick running back, but obviously has the wheels to get that one all the way into the end zone for the Huskies in a major, major answer for the UConn team.
Goes 51 yards on the rushing touchdown, has a 73-yard touchdown on the year as well, and a chance for UConn to tie this score. An emphatic answer after Delaware went up 7-0 early.
A great answer, and he tiptoed a little bit down the sideline there, which was... Looks like we may be getting a review of said tiptoe. That is exactly what I think we're looking at here. I thought it was good from my vantage point here on the 50-yard line. I got the catbird seat up here, Scott.
It is going to be reviewed. We didn't have the official up when he notified the crowd. Let's see if we can see it. Probably not the best angle for us right there.
From my vantage point, I thought it was a good, clean run there inbounds.
The replay official is Eric Toe. Jason Lambert communicating everything.
And again, I don't think that's the angle that's going to be definitive to certainly overturn the call on the field. We might get an end zone shot here, which will really show us looks good. Wow. I think he's in. That's really nice hip mobility. You really get a sense for the athlete. And it obviously stands, but you get a real sense there for a guy that's 5'11", 210, 15, 220. He's a thick running back to be able to keep his hips moving there, keep his toes in bounds, and that's the answer that we had said that UConn needed, and a really nice run and touchdown there by Cam Edwards.
Well, he had a 5-game rush touchdown streak snapped last game against Syracuse, so he was anxious to get back into the end zone, and he did there from 51 yards away. What a job staying in bounds along that sideline. Chris Freeman, one of the best to do it in the country, is on for the extra point with 8:48 left to go in the first quarter, and that is up and into the student section. We're tied at 7-all here at Delaware Stadium. You're watching ESPN+. For UConn, an answer after going down 7-0, and then perhaps losing Mel Brown, your running back. Cam Edwards comes in and says, let me get most of this in one chunk for Jim Mora's football team. A 51-yard race to the end zone, and we're knotted once again at 7. Myson Pollard will wave for it. So Delaware's offense will come back onto the field. 1 drive, 1 touchdown so far for the blue and gold. And they're doing that without out a major weapon on offense. We talked about it. Jake Thaw will miss this game with an injury. The graduate transfer, played at Michigan, was part of that national championship team at Michigan. His second year as a Blue Hen, 11 catches on the season, 14 targets, had a big spin cycle move against Colorado that made all the highlight reels a week ago, and so they're going to have to find other weapons than him today.
Yeah, and Delaware has a ton of different guys, 7, 8, 9 guys that can catch the football, as well as Eliza Sessoms, the tight end for them. So I think they'll be okay today.
Minicucci, he was certainly okay on the opening drive. Okay there. Duplessis, who comes over from Coastal Carolina, his season's off to a great start. That's his 9th catch as a Blue Hen.
Yeah, he corrals a lot of footballs that are in his area. He's played a lot of college football. I know Delaware's thrilled to have him here. And he's going to fill a big void today with Jake Thaw out for the Blue Hens.
Some shuffling going on the offensive line as well, as Silver gets a carry, looking for some space and finds it as he changes directions. Silver, it's a race to the end zone, and Silver wins gold. Touchdown, Delaware.
Well, we've seen 2 major touchdown rushes. Joe Silver's going to bounce this one back the backside. Looks like he's corralled here as everybody's getting a piece in the end zone. Here he is, corralled in the back. This is a tackle for loss for UConn that Joe Silver is able to bounce this one outside. He gets a really nice block on the edge by Jakari Kelly. He's high-stepping, picks those knees up, gets into the end zone. That was a quick answer for the Blue Hens.
A 70-yard touchdown run for Joe Silver as Nate Reed puts Delaware up 14-7. You know, we talked with head coach Ryan Carty during the week, and he said he kind of joked with Joe Silver during the week, saying, hey, where's my X-play? Where's my big one? And Joe Silver certainly delivered it right there.
Well, Coach Carty he's manic for his X-plays. He gets one there. He's wearing the old script Delaware D a la Tubby Raymond. I'm sure Tubby would be really pleased to see that one there. That was a tackle for loss for UConn that Joe Silver is able to kind of rip out of it, and next thing you know, he's flying down the sideline. Touchdown.
So Delaware goes up 14-7. We have said some big plays. I hope any crowd was late arriving, we are not even halfway done the first quarter of this football game. Already 21 points on the board.
It's a NASCAR pace here today, and I think that benefits Delaware. I think that's something that Coach Carty, he wants to call 105 plays if he can. And quick shots like that, quick hitters, quick scores, that's going to give them the opportunity to put a lot up on the scoreboard here this afternoon.
If you're UConn, you're coming off of a game that you feel like you probably should have won at Syracuse, losing in overtime, and talking with the coaching staff this week, and Jim Moore was fantastic giving us some of his time, but saying, it was beyond tough, but you got to get over it, but let it fuel you, and now you feel like, we are in a battle again. This is not a team that we need to overlook at all. They were ready for this one, but now you got the pressure on once more.
Pressure's on. You got to lean on your balanced offense here as Cam Edwards is still back in the game, as we're going to see a tackle for loss there. Looks like Gavin Mole again up into play. And KT Say, who wears the green dot on defense for the Fighting Blue Hens.
KT Say, always flying around. The junior from Norfolk, was a starter as a true freshman.
He may be shaken up here a little bit, Scott. Or
do have one player that seems to be slow to get up for Delaware.
I think that's Gavin Mole jogging off.
Mole seems to be okay, to see what Delaware's done against the rush this season, 8th best in Conference USA. Although Conference USA playing multifaceted schedule, not quite into conference play and rankings there.
And we're getting a look here at Dylan Traynor, a veteran linebacker for the Blue Hens. His brother was a great linebacker here. Dad was a former head coach at Rhode Island, a real football hard-nosed family. He's a real leader on defense for the Blue Hens. He and Gavin Mole are really the guys in that second level that make it go. They're the energy guys. They're hard-nosed. They make a ton of tackles.
It was 2017, the last time there was not a trainer family member on this Delaware football team. Liam was a fantastic linebacker, as you referenced, and now Dylan leads the way this year so far in tackles. He's got 11 on the season.
And he's also got 2.5 tackles for loss. He's got a sack and a half. I always chuckle about the half a sack. You know, it's you and I we tackle Fignano here. I get the half, you get the half.
We would need a whole lot more than you and I
to
tackle Joe Fignano.
You're 100%
But I
correct
understand
about
your point statistically, as Fignano now has it 2nd and 11 as we go under 8 minutes left to play in the opening quarter. And he rockets one to Juice Vereen. What a name and what a catch near midfield.
Yeah, Juice Vereen, and looks like we have another couple guys banged up here. It looks like Juice is hurt for sure.
Yeah, the tight end.
And Jason Scott as well is coming up a little bit lame.
Vereen is down on the field. And Juice Vereen, the redshirt sophomore, came over from NC State. 3 career catches. He had them all against Notre Dame in that 2023 season. And 2 catches this year for UConn. They've got a loaded tight end room. They've got some great talent there. Luis Hansen started his career at Michigan. Alex Honig comes over from TCU, and they've got some dudes in that tight end room.
Yeah.
But Juice Vereen's one of them, and they're already perhaps down Mel Brown. We haven't got an update on the outstanding running back for UConn. So right now getting hurt. Great crowd on hand here at Delaware Stadium. 17,000 strong in week 1 in Newark. Beautiful day for football, 81 and sunny. But we've got a pause in the action here as it seems Vereen is shaken up.
Yeah, and when we met with offensive coordinator Gordon Samus this week, who's a guy that's been a part of the CAA conference when Delaware was just there recently, and as we're seeing Juice Vereen jog off the field, walking off, he emphasized to us, again, back to Coach Samus, that we have depth. We're a tough football team. We have a lot of guys that we trust and can play for us. And whether that's Honig coming in or Lewis Hansen, they're guys that have played snaps here for UConn and can make a difference for them this afternoon.
It's like Hansen will come in as the tight end, as Vereen was able to walk off on his own strength, a good sign after a great catch. Got him 24 yards. And now Fignano near midfield. UConn went 3 and out their opening drive, scored on their last one. And now they put the ball in the hands of Ty Jaquio Bowman. Picks up 6.
Yeah, Jaquio Bowman on a little speed sweep here. The junior's pretty quick here. He's able to rip it inside there. That looks like it's almost a hold there that UConn gets away with one. I think that's Alex Honig there. But it brings up a 2nd down, a manageable down. Would be interested to see what the play call is here. If you give Joe Fignano an opportunity, maybe pitch one down the field to a little play action pass.
And that's their star, Bell, with a catch inside the red zone, inside the 15. Skylar Bell keeps it moving for UConn. Fignano had plenty of time to find the Blitnikoff Award watch list receiver.
Yeah, Fignano here, we're going to get another look at the play action. He dials this one up to his guy, Skylar Bell. Nice pitch, nice catch, big first down for the Huskies.
Edwards, he had a 51-yard score on the last drive. He gets to the 11 there.
Well, Scott, you mentioned it here. We're just getting down to 6 minutes left in the first quarter, and if you like watching offense, this is a really nice start. And we're going to see Skylar Bell came into the year, 15 catches, 240 yards in the 2 scores, and he looks like he's coming off the field here for this snap. And we're going to get some change-outs on defense personnel-wise for the Blue Hens. You know, it's not hot per se, Scott, but it's warm for a nice September afternoon. You're going to have to keep guys hydrated as we're running guys up and down the field here in an offensive shootout early.
On the ground, Edwards. Nothing doing that time. He picks up one more to the 10. It'll be 3rd down for UConn as we get to 5.5 minutes left to go in the first quarter. UConn trying to score for the second time in front of that packed student section at Delaware Stadium.
Yeah, third down can obviously get a first down. It's not third and goal. Be interested to see as we have some change out coming in here for UConn. And I don't see Skylar Bell back out in the formation here for UConn. Be interested to see if this one's getting handed off to Cam Edwards.
Watch John Nider. He split out on the far side, threw a touchdown last week. Now it'll be Fignano trying to do the same, but too much, and I hope everyone's okay down on the field. Someone got trampled there. Seems to be all right.
Yeah, over
looking
by
for
the
Bowman.
Over by the victory bell
she's
there.
okay.
Yeah, that was an ugly one there for sure. But UConn's bringing on the field goal unit here. As we'll get a look here of Fignano. He airs that one out, gives this guy a shot there just a little bit long. Had the wind kind of hurting there. Not sure if he just aired it too much, put a little too much zip on it, but a big stop for Delaware here as UConn's going to try to get 3.
Chris Freeman comes on for the field goal try. Lou Groza Award watch list. And for reasons like that, knocks it through on 4th down and 6, and UConn puts some points on the board. That's Chris Freeman, transfer from Indiana, now 4 of 5 on the year on field goal tries.
Yeah, it's a great answer. Coach Carty's obviously loving it to get. It's an answer for UConn, but a big stop for Delaware after the big Joe Silver touchdown.
And now if you're UConn, of course, a lot of football left to be played, but you've got to show you can stop this Delaware offense who scored on both of their opening drives.
Yeah, and Delaware's done a little bit of everything so far as throwing it, running it. Minicucci kept it, obviously, on the zone read for the touchdown. Both teams clearly, as we said, have adjusted back to seeing that 3-3-5 look that they saw all training camp long.
It's interesting. I mean, usually when you face a unique defense, as both of these teams will face today, you kind of got to hurry and figure it out within a week's time in a game week. And that's not easy to do. But when you play a defense you've seen during camp, you're a little bit more ready for it.
Yeah, the familiarity is obviously there, and it's something that these offenses have a lot of experience going against in spring ball and training camp. And
Jakari Kelly trying to wiggle his way across the 30-yard line. A flag comes late.
Late flag thrown, maybe a hold on the Blue Hens as Jakari Kelly was tackled out of bounds there pretty late too, it looked like from up here. But let's see what the flag is here. Nice return by Jakari Kelly. A really explosive player for the Blue Hens.
During the return, holding, receiving team number 40. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, first down.
So it was a hold. It'll bring Delaware back a bit. That's Jakari Kelly. Sometimes my son Pollard will be out there. They really like Kelly's speed. He had a 67-yard run after catch against Colorado a week ago. Fumbled at the end of it, but he is hard to track down. Kelly, the junior from Gainesville, Florida. And we'll see Nick Minicucci and the Delaware offense unstoppable so far. 2 touchdown drives to start. This is their 3rd possession.
Yeah, Nick's clearly settled in here to the game. He's letting it kind of come to him. He's having a nice start to this one.
Slinging it, caught. Wilson, his 2nd catch of the game. Doesn't go for much, but Minicucci now 4 of 5 today. Throwing the football. Delaware scored on the ground twice. Minicucci kept it himself after a long drive, and then the big burst from Silver last time out.
Yeah, and this is just a quick 1, 2, 3, throw it out there. Let's move the ball forward. We opened the broadcast with how efficient he's been, and he's going to have to continue to be efficient this afternoon and put the ball on time to his guys.
Quick dump off to the man we were just talking about, Jakari Kelly, trying to stay in bounds and see if he can get upfield a bit, but nice job by UConn, or was it too much of an effort from the Huskies as a flag is thrown once again late on a play? And
that's one tomorrow that the staff will just be, guys, come on. We can't do this here. This is a mental mistake as far as a personal foul late hit. Gives Delaware an automatic first down.
After the play, personal foul, late hit out of bounds, defense number 14. 15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
And going back to last week, we keep kind of harping on us. We're going to get a nice look at the dump out there to Jakari Kelly. Losing in such a tough fashion for the Huskies, I think they've come in here and have played a really nice start to this football game. They obviously have 10 points. But the defense, you're going to have to come here, and to win this football game, you're going to have to play clean. And that's not a clean winning football play there for UConn.
And it was Tyrese Mills, who knows better, a veteran, a redshirt senior, transferred from Penn State. Played 18 games for the Nittany Lions, actually played against Delaware as a member of the Nittany Lions a couple of seasons back over at Beaver Stadium. And so that penalty against UConn helps out the Hens. They run the ball on first down, don't get much, as Parham is in again. He's a heck of a ball player. Comes over from Washington. He had 106 tackles in the 2023 season. Some movement pre-snap for Delaware. They like to do that.
Split out way wide.
And now it's Ellison's turn. He gets to midfield. It'll be third down and short for Delaware.
Yeah, nice physical run here by Byron Ellison. Delaware splits out super wide outside of the numbers. Spreads it out a little bit to run a little zone right down the gut. This brings up third and short. I'm curious here if Coach Carty's viewing this as, hey, I got 2 downs here.
Coach Carty known to go for it on fourth down. We'll see if he'll need to make a decision. 2 yards to gain from the 50, and Ellison is the running back. They'll go Ellison again, and I think he got enough.
Yeah, I think he gets across here. That's a downhill run there by Ellison. Behind his guys, Dembowski, Fintan Bros.
And the line getting shaken up a bit. We talked about Patrick Shupp missing a game for the first time. He's played 48 games at Delaware. He's out at left guard. So Fintan Bros slides over. He's played center the first 2 weeks. He's such a versatile offensive lineman is Bros. And so Stephen Dembowski back from injury. He's at center today. So working guys around on that offensive line. And so far it's worked, the tune of 146 yards of offense for Delaware. Minicucci has time, releases, and it's caught by the tight end, Elijah Sessoms, his 4th catch of the year.
Yeah, and that's a really nice protection there to emphasize again this offensive line. Coach Chris Rogers, a new dad, just had a little boy a week or two ago after the Delaware State game. And they work their guys around. They all feel like they can play every single position, and we're getting a look of it here today of guys kind of shuffled around on the offensive line.
It's Chris Rogers' first game at Delaware State in this year because he was getting ready for Rush Rogers, the baby, to be delivered on Thursday, August 28th against Delaware State. We welcome Rush. What a name for an offensive line coach. Yeah. But Stephanie gave birth to Rush about 3 hours after Delaware defeated Delaware State on August 29th in the early morning on August 29th at 1 a.m. And so we welcome and congratulate the Rogers family on the newborn.
Yeah, congratulations to the Rogers family. And obviously that's going to be a really cool name to hear over the PA system. Rush Rogers, the ball carrier there, Scott. That'll be pretty neat.
A running back in the making. Here's a running back with some spaces. Ellison picks up his 2nd first down on this drive.
Yeah, a quick little pitch out here to Ellison, who's able to get north and south really quickly. This is obviously to the short side of the field. An interesting play design there by Coach Carty with some motion. A lot of different things for the UConn defense to have to identify and react to and make plays as we have a funky little formation set here, which I think is going to lead to a timeout for UConn. So we're going to get a review here of a targeting call, and I'm not sure if this is on Ellison running or if this is on the tackle itself. I certainly didn't see anything from up here that would make a buzz down for targeting.
Let's take a look here. You see Ellison, and then late coming in, it's Tyrese Mills again, who had the late hit earlier in the drive.
And he does, he obviously puts that head down. Fundamental football, you want to see what you hit. You got to keep that face mask up. I think certainly by the definition of the rule of targeting, which You know, Scott, you and I have talked about the rule of targeting over the years here, and no foul for targeting. So, you know, I'd be in support of that one. That looks like you want to see what you hit. You'd like to have his head to the side there. You hit with your shoulder, a little more of a form tackle, but, you know, these guys are moving so fast. It's, you know, I find targeting personally to just be, it's very subjective. It's really hard to, you know, put your head in the right spot. Certainly if you're trying to take a guy's head off and you're up around the head and neck, those are clear-cut and obvious. But a play like that, I think that's a football play. I'm glad to see that one not called targeting on the Huskies.
Well, we don't get to see, though, because the review is how that formation was going to play out, as Delaware had some offensive linemen lined up different places.
The offensive linemen love to be in a two-point stance like a wide receiver, too, Scott. I mean, that Can they wipe the shirt and say, I'm eligible? They want to catch a pass, too, as we're going to go to quarter here at Delaware Stadium.
It'll finally bring us to the end of one exciting quarter here in Newark. Over 300 total yards of offense and a 14-10 lead for Delaware. They're driving as we start the second quarter. We'll take a timeout first. An exciting first 15 minutes of action here in Newark. I'm Scott Klatskin alongside Fritz Stuber. On your screen is Nick Minicucci. His team leads 14-10. They're driving to start the second frame. And it's Joe Silver, who had a 70-yard run for a score. Doesn't get quite as much there. Stopped at the line of scrimmage. Nice job by the UConn defense to pile up.
Yeah, stacked up there on that play, but what an exciting first quarter that we had there. What a ton of points, offense up and down the field. Things to be excited about for both teams. Obviously, the Delaware faithful here today, a lot of them here enjoying seeing the Blue Hens put up some some first quarter points.
Student section looks packed, I should say. The crowd of the student section was overflowing week one for Delaware. They set an attendance record for students against Delaware State on a Thursday night opener. And Al Minicucci going to run again to the 15-yard line. He ran for a touchdown on the opening drive and sets up a third down and short.
Yeah, and this is very similar to the touchdown run that he had here. A little zone read, can keep it, can give it. And again, Nick is not afraid to stick his nose in there. He's a tough-nosed guy. He's a vocal leader for this Delaware team from everything that Coach Carty shared with us, and he's only getting better. The more he plays, the more they really like what they're seeing out of Nick Minicucci.
What did Coach Carty tell us? It's like he's a linebacker playing quarterback. Tough guy out there.
They make him hard-nosed up at Don Bosco Prep, Scott.
From Midland Park, New Jersey, and now on third down, it's Silver again, and it'll be first and goal to go.
You know, and we started the broadcast a little bit with, are they going to be able to get Joe Silver going? And the answer to that is 100% here. Is Joe Silver will get a tight little hole there. He's able to just find a seam and go, and you can really get a sense for his burst, not only on the long touchdown run, but what he has between the tackles as well.
On that run, Silver goes over 100 yards, his first career 100-yard rushing day, and he's got a lot of day left. 13 minutes left to play in the second. It'll be Minicucci for the second time today.
Second time boogieing in the end zone for Nick Minicucci. I think it's the same play call for the touchdown that he had earlier from Coach Carty. And if you're a Delaware Blue Hen fan, getting ready to go up 21-10 on the UConn Huskies at home, I mean, what a start to this football game for the Delaware Fighting Blue Hens.
Nick Minicucci does it in front of his buddies in the student section. They're cheering him on, and the Hens giving this crowd so much to cheer about, 20-10. And they've scored on each of their opening drives. Nate Reed on for the extra point. It's up, it's through. Delaware leads 21-10 thanks to another rushing TD from QB Nick Minicucci.
It's there in his passion to teach and help his students create, and there in helping her students stay focused on a task and get it right. It's also in that moment when she accomplishes a goal she's been working on for weeks, or in that nudge of encouragement that motivates her to learn. Student success in Delaware Public Schools is built on these individual stories happening every day, and it's driven by teachers and education support professionals working together to give every student the attention they need to be successful in life.
Do you know what a blue hen is? It's prideful, spirited, fiery. A blue hen never backs down from a challenge, and we're there to support them. Delaware Orthopedic Specialist, the official orthopedic partner of University of Delaware Athletics.
I'm home! Wow, it's hot in here.
Grandma says call the Moon Man.
Moon Man, the AC is out and my family is melted!
At your service! There you go! Mission accomplished!
Thanks, Moon Man!
The house is nice and cool again. Moon Man, you're awesome. You're welcome! Just go to moonair8.com. For out of this world service, Moon Air 8.
Well, we're back here live at Delaware Stadium as we're going to get a nice look here. It was so nice, had to see it twice. And Nick Minicucci getting another touchdown run here. And that 12-play, 79-yard drive, 6:47 off the clock for the 5-yard touchdown run by Nick Minicucci. And Scott, they can do it in big, long possession drives, 12 plays, or in a 2-play possession like we saw earlier with Joe Silver. You got to be really, really pleased here if you're Coach Carty, the offensive staff, of what Delaware's been able to do in this opening frame and some change here at Delaware Stadium.
Well, a lot to cheer about. You saw the cheer squad throwing up T-shirts into the stands, and I know a lot of fans here in Newark are excited about Delaware's jump to FBS. I don't know if this isn't a little bit surprising that they have been so unstoppable on their opening 3 drives. Somebody has to stop that returner, and They do across the 25-yard line as Jackson Harper gets caught up.
When we met with staff earlier in the week, obviously there's been a lot of buzz here around Newark, Delaware, to have an FBS team playing back at Delaware Stadium for the first time since 1989. And, Scott, you and I were joking off air earlier that I wasn't even born the last time there was an FBS team here playing at Delaware Stadium. And I know I look like I was born in 1958, but I was born in 1990, Scott. So an exciting time here all around for the Blue Hens to have a program like UConn here at Delaware
It was
Stadium.
a funnier joke for you, as I was very much born at that time, as Edwards goes towards the sideline where he scored a 51-yard rushing touchdown earlier in this game. And, it's been quite some time. Navy came to town in 1989, the last time an FBS program came in as an opponent, and now everyone will be an FBS opponent. Of course, Delaware opened up with an FCS opponent in Delaware State. Ryan Carty was in first grade, I believe, the last time an FBS opponent came to Delaware Stadium. UConn, though, here, you got to put together a drive as they get their first possession of the second quarter.
Yeah, and we haven't seen Mel Brown back in the game yet for UConn as they find Skylar Brown as he slips for a first down, but be interesting to see here. It looks like it's been kind of the Cam Edwards show, and Skylar Bell's obviously a guy that they're going to want to continue to get the football to. Joe Fignano obviously has a ton of confidence in what he can do and just pitches that out to him there for a big first down.
Edwards again wrapped up, and tackle made by veteran Jack Hall for Delaware. But you can just tell how comfortable Joe Fignano feels throwing the ball Skylar Bell's way, and why not? He's got 4 targets, he's got 4 catches on the day, 55 yards, but multiple 100-yard receiving games coming into this one.
Yeah, and frankly, I think Joe Fignano looks really comfortable just in the pocket. Again, 7th-year guy playing college football. He has a really good idea of what he's looking at, and he knows where the football needs to go based on each look, when there's blitzes coming, what the secondary's doing. He looks like a really, really efficient quarterback, and we're seeing it here today.
That one a little high, though, for Bell. Fignano playing in his 42nd career game today. A 7th-year veteran. Talking with head coach Jim Mora during the week, and he thought after Fignano won MVP of the Fenway Bowl against North Carolina last season, that was it. He was going to be done. They found out he was eligible for a 7th year, and he wanted to use that 7th year as a member of the UConn Huskies, and they're certainly glad he did.
Yeah, it sounds like he didn't even know he had the extra year.
Right.
So, hey, if I had the opportunity to come back for one more year of college and play college football and be a quarterback at UConn, why not?
Victor Rosa is the running back on 3rd down and 7. Fignano steps up, throws a laser, and it's caught. It's caught by the guy who threw a touchdown a week ago, John Nider. What a job Nider did to hold on.
Yeah, Fignano steps up in the pocket. You get a real sense there of his poise. He doesn't panic on a big 3rd down conversion for the Huskies.
And here's Rosa's first carry. It's a good one. Another first down. So you get a big pickup, go quickly to a new running back in Victor Rosa. And by Rosa getting the carry and not Brown, you think maybe Brown could be out for some time, as it's Rosa spelling Edwards.
Yeah, and Rosa's a guy that they have a lot of confidence in. Obviously can get outside of the tackle box and is a really good rusher for UConn.
They go back to Rosa. Keeps his feet churning, finds a hole, and bursts through for a score.
Yeah, you got a sense there of his burst there, Scott. One cut, goes. Does the break in the tape like a sprinter there at the goal line. And you got to love that if you're a Husky fan, to be able to say, hey, here's our 3rd back. We're down Mel Brown right now for what it looks like, and Rosa's able to come in, 2 carries, 2 efficient carries, and obviously this massive touchdown run for the UConn Huskies.
And this isn't some guy that they found sitting on the bench that they need to pull in for Mel Brown. Victor Rosa led UConn as a freshman with 636 yards rushing in 2022. He averaged 8 yards per carry coming into this game, and that average is going to go up.
He's got the burst, and he's a Connecticut native. You are thrilled for that young man.
31-yard touchdown run. We have had some explosive plays here in Newark as UConn makes the score 21-17 after Victor Rosa scores his 2nd touchdown of the year. High School is only 4 miles away from ESPN headquarters. Might find himself on SportsCenter after that 31-yard run.
It's a great touchdown run. He breaks the tape like the sprinter. Great touchdown for Victor.
Now sprinting the other way is Myson Pollard, trying to give Delaware some good field position out to the 36-yard line. And so Delaware's offense comes back out onto the field. They have scored touchdowns on each of their first 3 drives, and they've done it in different ways. As you mentioned, a 12-play drive last time out on the field, 79 yards. They also have a 7-play and a 2-play drive as well, 73, 75, 79 on the 3 scoring drives for Delaware thus far.
Yeah, 138 yards on the ground have been all of their touchdowns, but have still been pretty efficient in the passing game with 55 yards. They obviously had the long pass of 32 yards to Wilson, but they're giving Nick Minicucci a lot to be confident about. Quick game, quick throws, able to see a guy, throw it to him. As we're getting a game clock reset to 9:52, I think we heard.
It's at 9:51, and so maybe 10:02.
10:02.
10 seconds.
All righty.
So Nick Minicucci gets 10 extra seconds through the quarter as the man goes in motion to start the 4th drive of the day for the Blue Hens. They've looked sharp thus far. Duplessis with a catch at the 45-yard line. Picks up a first down on the opening play of the drive.
That's a classic Ryan Carty, and we're getting a flag here. You know, I'm curious if this is going to be a targeting call here. As we see Duplessis goes in motion, is able to catch a nice ball by Nick Minicucci. I don't think it's here. I think it's coming in here late, right there.
Personal foul, targeting defense number 15. That play is under review.
That's Lot 2, who comes in late. I think just in that first pass of it, Scott, that I think that does meet the criteria of targeting. We'll obviously want to get another look of it here, but.
And UConn playing aggressively today defensively. Matt Brock has them fired up, but you got to harness it a little bit. We had a personal foul, and this is our second look for targeting so far in the day for UConn. And while they look at things, we'll take a break. We'll be back with a decision in just a moment. Delaware leads 21-17.
Did you know Delaware has beautiful beaches, unique breweries, and outdoor fun for days? It's got a little something for the night owls and the adventurous types. There's plenty of fun for the entire family and no shortage of award-winning date night options. There's endless discoveries in Delaware, and if you play your cards right, you might even get to experience them for yourself. Plan your own adventure at visitdelaware.com.
Hey, grab me one too.
What is Easter Seals?
What is Easter Seals?
Easter Seals provides services that give children the power to succeed. People with disabilities a place in their community. Seniors and caregivers the support that they need. Easter Seals Delaware and Maryland's Eastern Shore is changing lives every day. Are you raising a family? Caring for a parent? Know someone with a disability? Easter Seals is here for you. Look us up.
So the decision on the field after the review was no targeting, Fritz.
Yeah, this is our first look at it, and, it kind of does lead with the crown, but hits him with the shoulder. But again, what we were getting to there originally was that Kyrie Duplessis was able to come in motion, get a good, nice throw from Nick Minicucci, and a big first down for the Blue Hens.
Second time they've looked at targeting. Second time they have determined not targeting on UConn. As we get back in action, under 10 minutes, second quarter of football. Kelly goes in motion. Minicucci will keep it himself, and he is a tough quarterback. We talked about Don Bosco Prep, where he played his high school ball. He has come in time and time again for this Delaware team, who has faced a whole lot of injuries, unfortunately, at the quarterback position throughout the time Nick Minicucci has been here. He stepped up as a true freshman and led a comeback in an FCS playoff game. Was the first true freshman to start at quarterback since 2001 when he did so. So I know the story is that backup quarterback taking over for Zach Marker, but he is very far from second on the depth chart.
And he's always prepared like he is the starter. And that's a real veteran move by Nick Minicucci to be able to do that.
Looking for Patterson. Nice job there defensively, breaking up the pass by Osiris Gilbert, a true freshman from Georgia. He timed that properly and knocked it away.
Yeah, I think he does time this really well, as we'll get another look here. I'm sure Blue Hen fans think he's a little early there. No flag. Brings up a real critical third down here, as we feel like we haven't had a ton of critical third downs here in this football game with so many explosive X plays. But a big one here for the Blue Hens, just near midfield.
Delaware 3 of 3 on third down thus far. Looking to stay perfect. Minicucci, that one could have been trouble for Delaware, as he was looking for Connor Whittoff, the tight end, but Damon Brinson was in coverage.
Yeah, Brinson in really nice coverage. A really good blitz pickup there by the Blue Hens. Gives Minicucci an opportunity. Unable to complete the pass, as I believe this is Delaware's first punt of the afternoon. Is that right,
It is.
Scott?
It's the first time that we'll see Brendan Locke for Delaware, transferred from Michigan Tech, where he was a D2 All-American. Jackson Harper going to be back to return. Some shifting in the formation as they get it to Locke. And Harper going to chase it down as it bounces inside the 20. And down it will go there. So UConn found themselves down 21-10, scored thanks to Victor Rosa, and now the Huskies in position to take a lead.
Yeah, it's a big stop there for UConn and their defense. And now the offense has their rhythm, a little mojo on their end as well. Be really interested to see what we're going to do here if we're UConn, or we're going to pass it a lot. Are we going to get a little bit more of Cam Edwards, maybe Victor Rosa back in? But Fignano's done exactly what we predicted he would do. He's been efficient. He's put the ball where it needs to be. Hasn't made any mistakes. He's stepped up when he's felt some pressure.
And here's Fignano. Decides to keep it, slings it, and that's a first down pickup for the UConn Huskies. As Raymello Murphy gets his first catch of the day, 9th of the season, comes over from Arizona. Had a lot of success at ODU prior to that.
Yeah, it's the 5th receiver for the day for Fignano. Obviously has a lot of trust in his guys, has a deep room at wide receiver.
And at tight end, he finds one there into Delaware territory. Say and Pollard are there to stop him, but another receiver for Fignano.
Yeah, Fignano just kind of lobs this one up down the seam a little bit. I think that's Nadir Chirchuri. And we have an injured Husky here back on the 25-yard line.
Trying to get eyes on who that might be for UConn going down. We've seen several players go down. If you're just joining us, it seems that we haven't gotten official word or any word, official or otherwise, about Mel Brown. But the fact that Victor Rosa was in last possession makes us think maybe Mel Brown was out. So UConn has been facing some injuries thus far.
I don't want to interrupt you here, Scott, but I think that is Joe Fignano down for the Huskies, quarterback. If I'm able to see through there, it looks like it is number 2 on the sleeve.
See if we can get a shot of the player down. If that is Fignano.
That's Coach Mora out in the field, Coach Samus out on the field, checking on Fignano.
Joe Fignano has faced injuries throughout his career. Suffered a shoulder injury week 2 in 2023. It was Nick Evers that came in and took the quarterback spot that year when Fignano went down, and we would assume it would be Evers coming in now if it is Fignano who cannot continue. He does pop up.
He looks certainly shaken up there, Scott. He was down for a couple minutes. Speaking with the trainers now. You know, he's a big, strong, tough kid. Certainly hope we can see Joe Fignano back in this football game for the Huskies.
It's a pat there from his head coach, Jim Mora, and you hope for the 7th-year man out of Williamsport, Pennsylvania, that he can continue until he can.
Looks like he's staying around the offensive huddle here. As we're going to get a look at what this could possibly be here. As he does kind of just float this one up. I don't know if he's hit. Oh, he is hit low late there. Kind of in the thigh pad, the knee area.
And so the backup quarterback is
Tucker McDonald in for the Huskies.
And McDonald's pass incomplete. And Fignano ready to return. So it was McDonald just for one play, a passing play. And sometimes they just have the guy hand the ball off so that the quarterback can come back in the game.
Yeah.
But how tough is Joe Fignano? Comes out and pops right back in when this team needs him, down by 4.
Yeah, and he's going to face a 2nd and 10 here. It was an interesting play call by Coach Samus to a cold quarterback to come in and throw a kind of quick screen there, it looked like. But great to see Joe Fignano back in this football game for the Huskies.
He's got Cam Edwards behind him on 2nd down. And Fignano wasted no time to throw, heaving it down the field to Bell. And it looked like it was going to be a score. Bell had a step just out of reach of the superstar.
This is one that Skylar Bell is absolutely going to want back. They give a little play action pass. Joe Fignano lays this exactly where it needs to be. And this is going to go through Skylar Bell's fingertips right there.
That's a rarity.
That's 6 points for a really good playmaker that's not able to come down for it for UConn. And now it brings up 3rd and 10. So you had your quarterback out. You just missed a touchdown pass. What's the answer here on 3rd and 10 if you're the Huskies?
Well, Joe Fignano pops out due to an injury. Was down on the ground for about a minute, almost 2 minutes, and comes right back out. Tosses 146 yards looking for the score. Now 3rd and 10 out of the gun. Fignano has some time. Now throws, fires it, caught at the 30. They convert on 3rd down. That was Shamar Porter, the redshirt sophomore transfer from Kentucky.
Well, Fignano really kind of cocks back and rips this one here. You get a real sense of this arm strength as he just bangs this one out here to Porter. A big conversion.
3 to Fignano's left. He pumps. He goes. Looking for Nider. It's caught and a flag on the play. And so Nider, who threw the touchdown toss a week ago against Syracuse, he's been involved on the offense now on the receiving end a couple times, but there is a flag.
Yeah, I got to imagine this is pass interference here as Nider makes a really nice diving catch here for the Huskies.
Pass interference, defense number 21. The penalty has been declined, resulted in play as a 1st down.
So 21 not in the frame of the catch. It was Say in coverage, so
yeah, I don't know.
Flag is declined, and now here's UConn with an opportunity to take their first lead.
Yeah, they got down the field really quickly here, Scott. Some big chunk plays. The penalty obviously was declined.
And here's Edwards. He did it from 51 yards out to a little easier. UConn takes their first lead of the afternoon.
Huskies loving it. Their contingency here in the corner here at Delaware Stadium is fired up. That's a really nice touchdown drive there. You had a lot of things going on here as we get a look at Cam Edwards bringing this one backside. Goes through a couple blue hens to get into the end zone. A lot of points here in this first half, Scott. My word.
Still 7:17 left to play in the first half as Freeman will come on after the Edwards touchdown, and Freeman knocks it on through. Let's take another look at this one as Cam Edwards hits pay dirt for the 2nd time today.
It looks like a little zone read action here, and he brings that thing backside right off the backside there, and is able to get in for 6. It's a really good run. You see there again, Cam Edwards, a guy that is a north-south runner to his core, and obviously has that great balance to be able to bring that one backside.
And how about no panic in the UConn Huskies? You go down 21-10 on the road. Obviously, you're favored in this game as a team that won 9 a year ago and in a bowl game. And you go down early. Jim Moore has got his team poised and just weathered that early storm from Delaware. You get a stop, and then you go down and score.
And we haven't really touched on it, but Coach Moore has done an incredible job at UConn to win 9 games, win the bowl game last season. Obviously, a guy that's had success at the NFL level with the Atlanta Falcons, the Seattle Seahawks. He's got UConn in a position here that they went down early, but they're right back in this football game now up. And it'll be really interesting to see what the defense has in store on this possession. It wouldn't be surprised to see maybe a little pressure going to Nick Minicucci as he's obviously found his rhythm, is in a kind of a quick game set here. But yeah, no entitlement from these guys. They lost last week. Everybody came back into the facility and was ready to work. And you're getting a real good look at how hard they compete. They play hard.
And we talked to Coach Moore about, what have you done for this turnaround at UConn? Because for those that aren't familiar, UConn, they weren't winning football games. First winning season a year ago since 2010. They were 4-32 the previous 3 seasons before Jim Moore came along, and he started with the people. He said good people on his staff, good people on the team, and then the support from the administration as well. So Jim Moore getting this Husky team back in a winning program for the first time since 2010, trying to continue that this year after a 9-win season a year ago. And he's got his team up top 24-21 now.
Yeah, and right here with Delaware making a really nice opening play of this possession to Joe Silver. A back that they're clearly leaning on more than they did week 1, week 2.
Now he's looking for space, nothing there. A lot of white jerseys in the area, and so you're quickly looking at 3rd down by 3 for Delaware. A possession last time out on the field for your offense where you had to punt, and this suddenly becomes an important 3rd down with 6:30 left to go in the second quarter.
Big 3rd down. You're not crazy backed up here, but you obviously want to get a few more yards. If you aren't able to convert this one here, you need a big punt. You almost need to give your defense a breath here as well. And you can see on the other side, UConn's defense is fired up. They're playing around. They're flying around. They're getting a lot of hats to the football.
Delaware needs 3. Minicucci wants more. Tossing it up. Coming back to get it is Duplessis. He gets it, and a whole lot more than just the 3 needed for a 1st down. How about a touchdown for Kyrie Duplessis? You got mossed.
Scott, you mentioned it earlier. That absolutely is an ESPN top play. Kyrie Duplessis goes up, highest points this thing, mosses it, is able to stay on his feet, which is an incredible play. A great blitz pickup by Joe Silver to give Minicucci an opportunity. Put this one up, high points this football, keeps his feet in, runs it into the end zone, a massive touchdown. Talk about an answer from the Fighting Blue Hens here at home.
We've had fireworks here in the daytime at Delaware Stadium. 68 yards that time for Kyrie Duplessis, and we're going to see it again. You're going to see it again, I'm sure, on your Twitter feeds, because Kyrie Duplessis has made another huge grab for Delaware.
Yeah, again, a really great blitz pickup by Joe Silver, but Kyrie Duplessis to be able to go up in some traffic, come down at a high point with that football. And then you get a real sense for the wheels here as he's fired up into the student section end zone. A great touchdown catch by a veteran guy, Kyrie Duplessis, in his first season here for the Fighting Blue Hens.
Kyrie Duplessis making an impact. He had a one-handed grab. They were calling that the catch of the year, and now he's got competition with himself for catch of the year at Delaware, because he has been a highlight machine in his first season in Newark. Comes from Coastal Carolina. He had 5 catches a season ago, and already today 3 catches, 84 yards, and a score. It has been an electrifying first half of football. The first time an FBS team has come in to Delaware Stadium since 1989, and if they were all going to be like this, well, wow, we're looking forward to more in Newark. Now the return for UConn as back and forth. This game has gone. Tripped up at around the 20-yard line was Terrence Smith.
Yeah, shoestring tackle there. That had some real running lanes there for the Huskies. We'll get a look here. If this isn't tripped up by the ankles, this thing might be on the other side of the 50, if not to the end zone.
So UConn comes back out offensively, and so much confidence for both of these teams. 299 total yards for UConn, 282 now for Delaware. But Delaware's going to have to make Fignano feel uncomfortable, as we've seen what he can do over the last couple of drives when he's had time to throw. Now on the run, we've seen it, what he can do standing in the pocket, and this time he finds Bell going to his right.
Yeah, he finds Bell here, a really nice rollout, and they're going with a little bit of tempo. They might feel like they have Delaware on their heels a little bit. Delaware changed out a lot of bodies here on this possession as Skylar Bell's able to slide and make that play there.
Speaking of sliding, Rosa slips a bit trying to cut back, and he'll be brought down at the line of scrimmage, maybe a loss of 1.
Loss of 1, isn't able to pick him up, put him down fast enough. And Rosa has that ability to be a real shifty back, is just unable to keep him up and not slide down for a loss there. We're getting some substitutions now. College football, obviously, if the offense brings a guy in, the defense is able to match, and I think Delaware's happy to take their time there and get their guys on to a line.
Saw Bronya come in, amongst others, for Delaware, and that pass caught by Alex Honig, his 4th catch of the season.
Yeah, I think it actually went through his hands there, Scott. It brings up it slipped out, brings up a 3rd down. Blake Matthews there for Delaware in on the play as Dylan Trainor's coming on a blitz.
So it's 3rd down now for UConn.
What a big stop this would be for Delaware.
The Huskies 3 of 5 today on 3rd down. Delaware showing some pressure. They'll back off. Dylan Trainor, Gavin Mole at the linebacker spots. Fignano deals. It's caught, but not going to be enough or even close to 1st down yardage. So 4th down coming up.
Looks like
for the Huskies.
Looks like the punting unit is going to come on the field for the Huskies. As Delaware, I think, checks the check here. Really nobody open except for the underneath route. Really nice defense there by Delaware to not let anything get near the sticks to bring up a punt. That's a big stop for Delaware. Going to get the ball back with about 4 minutes left. I'm sure Coach Carty's thinking, all right, let's get a 4-minute drive together. Let's go into half with the lead, but knowing how much he loves X-plays, it could be a two-play possession here, Scott.
It was Duplessis who had the touchdown on the last drive. Back to return punts. Worth mentioning again that Delaware's punt returner and star wide receiver Jake Thaw out today. And so Duplessis is back to receive the punts. That one went out of bounds. Delaware's offense comes out. See the offensive line as well. That scrambled up a bit. Patrick Shupp not playing. 48 games in his career at left guard, and so he can't go. Finton Brose, who slid over to center, now playing left guard.
And we've seen how clean that they've played up front today. No holdings. They've kept Nick Minicucci clean in the pocket, which has given him the ability to be really, really efficient as UConn's going to shift their defensive line.
Minicucci throws it high, and we've already seen that jumping for catches is no problem for Kyrie Duplessis.
Yeah, Kyrie Duplessis is clearly an elite athlete. As Coach Carty's going to get Minicucci out in a sprint out, get him on the run, get it to his guy quick on the edge. They're quickly finding themselves in a rhythm here for guys that until a couple weeks ago with training camp had never thrown a ball to each other.
Nick Minicucci splitting reps in camp with Zach Marker. Marker out for the season. Minicucci coming in and getting QB1 reps. And Coach Carty talking with us during the week and just saying the more reps that Nick Minicucci gets, the better he is going to become. And he's a guy that studies film and just you find him studying all day long. He's always prepared like he was the starting quarterback, and now certainly he is.
Yeah, he's always been prepared to step into the game and make winning plays when Delaware has needed him to do that, as we saw Brian Parham there making a big tackle, brings up a critical third down here for Delaware, backed up in their own end.
Delaware needs 2 yards. They'll try to get it on the ground. They're going to need a push after contact, and I think it's going to be short for Delaware. And so 4th down and 1 should be the spot as they went to Ellison.
Looks like he is about a yard and a half short. Be interested to see if Coach Carty takes this down to the 2-minute timeout, because this would be, he is a gambler, but this would be a really big gamble here to go for it backed up.
See if they can get him to jump.
Yeah, I think that's probably, see if we get somebody to jump off sides.
You got 2 minutes, and they'll do just that. An exciting first half of football.
That's the 2-minute timeout.
Has 2 minutes left. We'll take a break here on ESPN+. Well, the way this first half has gone, 2 minutes is more than enough time for some more scoring, and Delaware going to come back out onto the field. They need a yard, and they get it. You love Ryan Carty's aggressive nature, and he keeps the football in the hands of his blue and gold.
And he goes to a play that they've had a lot of success with. This is the exact same play, more or less, but that's really just a straight downhill quarterback keeper. But he knows he's got Minicucci. He's a physical runner. He's obviously got 2 touchdowns here rushing on the day. Keeps the drive alive for the Blue Hens. Now they're in their own 2-minute set here.
Minicucci being pressured this time and get back to the line of scrimmage. But just going back to that 4th down call, and Coach Carty, no stranger to going for it on 4th down. But if you get stuffed there, then you're down at the half, the way UConn's been moving the football. You're giving UConn the ball in almost the red zone with 2 minutes left to go. The aggressive call, and they convert on it. So now you can take this into the half if you're careful with it.
Yeah, and you can see that UConn is going to maybe tee off a little bit here with a minute to go. Going to play a little softer to make sure they're not giving up a big play, as that one goes to Jakari Kelly for a couple.
He stays in bounds. Delaware does have 3 timeouts remaining, though, as the Hens go under a minute.
Brings up a 3rd down here. And if you're UConn, you're saying, okay, tick, 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 tick. Delaware substitutes, lets UConn bring their guys out, kind of a little gamesmanship like we just saw on the other possession with Delaware bringing their D guys out. Got UConn walked up to the football looking to bring some pressure here on Nick Minicucci.
Nick finds Kelly again, short of the yard to gain, though. And so with 22 seconds left to go, I believe UConn's going to take a timeout, try to get the football back as We saw Delaware go for it on 4th and 1, I
Second.
think. 4th and maybe 3 or 4. Probably too far to give it a try. So we'll likely see Delaware punt on 4th down and 3. But the conversion on 4th and 1 just melted some clock, and now UConn won't have as much when they get it back.
And it does go to show you that you never know what Coach Carty's going to do. We've said it many times, he wants to run as many offensive plays as he can. That's clearly an obvious punt situation that they're bringing on the punt unit now, but really a gutsy call here at home against a team that is obviously favored in UConn to win this football game, but gutsy call doesn't necessarily work out here. Obviously a big punt upcoming. I'd expect to see some pressure if I'm UConn.
Jackson Harper is back to return. Brendan Locke will try to kick this one away. Locke did drop a punt against Colorado a week ago. He's new to Delaware, but a veteran punter.
And Delaware has...
Timeout, Delaware. That's their first. 30 seconds.
Yeah, so I think Delaware was missing a guy there in formation, and you can see Coach Carty is not pleased with that. Obviously, UConn had called the timeout. We should be able to get, let's get our guys together here. We need, it's punt. Go to punt.
But what a first half we've had, and it's got 22 seconds left in it. That's more than enough time for another batch of fireworks. But 28-24 through almost 30 minutes.
Hey, with Joe Fignano, with a guy like Skylar Bell, with 2 timeouts, you're going to get the ball back maybe 18 seconds or so. Maybe you take a shot or two, see if you can get a pass interference call, something to make up 15, 20, 25, 30 yards to maybe get a long field goal here at the end of half. I'll be interested to see what UConn decides to do once they get this ball.
There is a flag prior to the punt. And Harper fields it cleanly, but there is a flag on the field.
I'm not sure what this is. It might be a legal formation. Maybe not enough guys on the line of scrimmage.
Illegal formation. 5 players in the backfield on the kicking team. 5-yard penalty will be assessed to the dead ball spot. First down.
Well, I guess my eyes were not lying to me. It's always good to have this vantage from up here. When you're on the sideline, it's hard to see that. But when you're sitting up here in the crow's nest on the 50-yard line.
So you got 15 seconds for Joe Fignano.
Yeah.
Delaware last week. Fortunately for Delaware, Colorado's Ryan Staub led a 75-yard drive with 45 seconds left. Didn't take all 45 seconds. So the Hens, I'm sure, are thinking about that a bit and want to make sure they head into the locker room on a more positive note this week. Up 28-24. Fignano goes towards the sideline. Bowman gets out of bounds, stops the clock at 9 seconds.
And clearly UConn trusts Joe Fignano here to not make a big mistake, is able to find a guy, get out of bounds.
And 2 timeouts left for UConn.
Yeah, 2 timeouts. The clock is obviously not their friend right now with 9 seconds to go. They're obviously not aligning to take a knee. I'd be interested to see. They got Skylar Bell flanked out here in a trip set to the near side. I'd be interested to see if they're going to run some kind of rub combination, see if they can get him streaking down the field for a big shot here.
Fignano just dumps it off. It's Rosa. He slides with 4 seconds. Smart play, gets past the sticks, and so it'll stop under 2 minutes to move the chains. They also have a timeout, so either way,
and Joe
Fignano's,
he's got a strong arm now. Now you're in kind of Hail Mary territory where you could get a penalty in the end zone.
Timeout, UConn. That's their second. 30 seconds.
I don't think anything's off the table the way this first half has gone in this one. We saw a 51-yard run from Cam Edwards. We saw a 70-yard run from Joe Silver. Rosa took it 31 yards, and then what a catch from Kyrie Duplessis, 68 yards on a catch on 3rd and 3. And so we've had a lot of fun here in the first half, and we'll see one more play before heading into the locker room in Newark.
Yeah, UConn's going to align, they flipped the formation, so I'm wondering if this is
kind of that same thing where we're either going to get a rub route at the top here with Skylar Bell for a Hail Mary look, or we might be playing hot potato and lateral in this thing a million times to close the half here.
Vignano's got one more in him. Steps up, and Delaware trying not to give him time to get it off. Now being chased by Trainer. Tosses it long. It's up in the air, and finally finds the turf. What a finish. What a half of football. 52 total points. Delaware, in their first time hosting an FBS opponent since the 80s. They'll take a lead heading into their locker room.
What an
choose the best provider to care for a seriously ill loved one at home? Start with experts offering a full range of services for different stages, all the way to making life's final months more comfortable. Then choose local experience, like a provider who's been serving this region for more than 40 years. Also find experts focused on a caring mission instead of profit. It all adds up to only one choice: Delaware Hospice. Positively your best choice for care at home.
Before the 12 driver assist systems. Before the 7 passenger seating. The Airmatic adaptive suspension. And the predictive AI technology. It starts with the same simple philosophy: to deliver the world's greatest vehicles. The 7-passenger Mercedes-Benz GLS. Even standing still, it's moving forward.
Welcome back into Delaware Stadium with a score of 28-24 Delaware at the half. I'm Scott Klanskin here with Fritz Stuber. And Fritz, there were a whole lot of numbers in the first half. These are the first half stats brought to you by the International Brotherhood of Electrical Workers, Local 313, and the National Electrical Contractors Association. Together, we power Delaware. A whole lot of power in that first half from both teams.
Yeah, I mean, look at those total yards for both programs. I mean, that you're almost happy with that if that's your entire game. But no, folks, that's the first half stats. And it's going to boil down to here in the second half of who can control the clock, who can control the possessions, and score more.
You saw the numbers. Let's see what it looked like on the field with today's Game Track, sponsored by Highmark Blue Shield, the official healthcare insurance partner of University of Delaware Athletics and Recreation, because life.
Yeah, and the scoring gets kicked off here by Nick Minicucci, and he does this twice in the opening frame. And then obviously Cam Edwards here with the big 51-yard touchdown rush, tiptoes down the sideline, is able to get in. Then Joe Silver here with a big cutback. This one goes all the way to the house too. Another tiptoe drill down the sideline. You get a real sense here of some of these chunk X plays that we saw here in the first half. And Minicucci gets back in again. We have Rosa, who has a really nice touchdown run into the end zone. Cam Edwards breaks one back into the end zone. And then the big, incredible catch of the day, Kyrie Duplessis with a high point down the side. A lot of down the sideline here, Scott, for the big touchdown for the Blue Hens.
I think we have enough time in the half to get through all of those first half highlights. I do have time, though, to let you know that today's game is presented by Christiana Care for the love of health. PNC Bank. PNC Bank, brilliantly boring since 1865. Moon Services for out-of-this-world service, MoonAirInc.com, and the Delaware Office of Highway Safety. You are where road safety starts in Delaware. Visit ArriveAliveDE.com for more information about the Delaware Office of Highway Safety. Delaware leads a close one, back and forth. It's gone in the first half. We've got second half action for you coming up on ESPN+.
Cool, thanks.
Nice.
What time are we back, Caleb?
This river wasn't dammed in a day, and GMC trucks weren't built overnight. Like every American achievement, they are a result of dedication. Over 100 years dedicated to the art of engineering and the ambition to always move this country forward. Get 0% APR plus $2,600 total value on this Sierra 1500 model. Plus, current eligible GMC owners get an additional $3,500 purchase allowance.
Attention Blue Hen fans, we're excited to announce that Grain Craft Bar and Kitchen is the official post-game spot for Delaware football. Bring your UD pride from the stadium and go to any of Grain's 5 locations after the game. Regulars have been enjoying Grain Craft Bar and Kitchen since 2015 for live music, great food, and fun. And now open, Grain Exchange is across the street from Delaware Stadium with an outdoor bar, stage, live music, and food. Grain Craft Bar and Kitchen is built by Blue Hens for Blue Hens.
Hall of Fame Day here at the University of Delaware, and an all-time great quarterback, Pat Devlin, honored as part of the class of 2025, 5-year NFL career. Joe Carbone was a member of the class as well, back-to-back national championships for Delaware in 1971 and 1972. But that was at halftime, and great to see Pat Devlin get in, a former teammate of yours and just an all-time great at Delaware, former CAA Player of the Year.
Yeah, very happy for Pat, and really congratulations to all of the Hall of Fame inductees here at the University of Delaware Athletics Hall of Fame.
Pat's got to be pleased with all the passing attack, all the offense in the first half of this one. Delaware originally won the toss, deferred to the second half, and so my son Pollard gets to take the opening kickoff of the second half. We looked at some of the numbers. Both teams over 300 yards of offense in the first half. It'll come down to which team can slow down the other offense here in the second half. Both of these teams talked about finishing, about completing games in the second half. Delaware was close to Colorado last week, and then the score ramped up a bit for the Buffaloes in the second half of football. For UConn, they had a lead against Syracuse and fell in overtime. Which team will be able to close out this football game? Minicucci to the air on the first play of the third quarter, and it's Jakari Kelly, who is about as slippery as they get. He is hard to bring down, former track star, won the 4x100 relay state title in 2021 down in Florida. He had a big run a week ago, almost slipped through that time around, but wrapped up by multiple UConn players.
And Nick Minicucci picks off right where he left off in the first half. He's completing 77% of his passes. He's incredibly efficient, and we said at the beginning of this that's a key to this football game, is Nick getting into a rhythm, putting the ball where it needs to go, and he's executing to perfection here for the Hens.
And sometimes it just needs to go to the hands of Joe Silver, who's up over 100 yards rushing for the first time in his career, 116 before his 9th carry there.
Yeah, he's been juking and racing and all over the place today, and has made a lot of really downhill football plays. Here's one we'll get a good look of, running behind his big guys up front. Really good push by Fintan Bros.
Third and short here for Delaware on the opening possession of the second half. It'll be Minicucci, and he is hit as he gets to the line of scrimmage. He may be short, or did he fall forward enough to pick up the first down yardage? He did. Absorbed some contact and picked up the first on a crucial third down play for Minicucci.
And here's a play that we've seen Delaware run a few times. I think that's Stefan right there in the center for UConn, as Delaware goes with some tempo out to Kyrie Duplessis. But UConn did a better job there of not letting that zone read gash him. It was obviously for a first down there for Nick Minicucci, but this is when you start to see, obviously, we went into half. What kind of adjustments will the defense have on both sides? As you know, both defensive coordinators are scratching their head and saying, oh boy, these are way too many points to be given up in a half. Who's going to settle in? Who's going to lock in and make a play?
Silver, he's made a lot of plays today thus far, and that's another one. A first down pickup into UConn territory. Continues to add to his best career day. A Doak Walker Award Watch candidate coming into the season, one of 103 players on that list.
And now Delaware goes with a little bit of tempo here.
Pressure came. It was blocked up, and Minicucci gets rid of it high to Duplessis.
Yeah, almost comes down with another one-handed grab like we saw a couple weeks ago, as we're going to get a nice blitz pickup there by Joe Silver. Just a little high and out of reach for Duplessis there.
That was on Diamande, who leads the team in tackles, the redshirt sophomore from the Bronx, New York. And Delaware with a 4-point advantage. Nick Minicucci checking with the sideline. Nick's 12 of 16 today, 159 through the air, 13 on the ground, and 2 touchdowns for the junior quarterback.
Yeah, and the Huskies are going to need more big plays from Diamande. A leader for them on defense, a guy that's been their vocal voice. As we get a little
extracurricular there. The UConn sideline's not thrilled.
Catch was made, and then Gilbert knocked him backwards. They blew the whistle.
I think maybe they thought he tried to go back forward. It might have stepped out of bounds there, which is pretty interesting. It looks like they did spot that ball back. Brings up 3rd and 8 here.
Delaware 5 of 8 on 3rd down. They converted on this drive already to start the 3rd quarter. Minicucci being pressured. Avoids it. Now running. Throws on the run. Finds the tight end. Whittoff. Not enough, but a nice job of Minicucci at least avoiding, I believe, Donovan Branch, who was chasing him and picking up some yards.
You know, Donovan Branch here has him kind of dead to rights. He's unblocked here. As we're getting another look at Jakari Kelly's play there. But yeah, Donovan Branch had him if he can just kind of throttle and settle. Might be able to come up with a sack there on Nick Minicucci. Brings up a not shocking go for it here for Coach Carty and the Delaware offense.
Delaware already 1 of 1 today on 4th down. They'll need 4 yards here as Kelly goes in motion, and Coach Carty didn't love it, so he'll take a timeout and use a timeout early. We'll use a break with it. Back in a moment Delaware. On 4th down for Delaware.
Choose the best provider to care for a seriously ill loved one at home? Start with experts offering a full range of services for different stages, all the way to making life's final months more comfortable. Then choose local experience, like a provider who's been serving this region for more than 40 years. Also find experts focused on a caring mission instead of profit. It all adds up to only one choice: Delaware Hospice. Positively your best choice for care at home.
Before the 12 driver assist systems, before the 7 passenger seating, the Airmatic adaptive suspension, and the predictive AI technology, it starts with the same simple philosophy: to deliver the world's greatest vehicles. The 7 passenger Mercedes-Benz GLS. Even standing still, it's moving forward.
Delaware's offense was getting set to potentially go for it on 4th down and 4. And a timeout taken by Delaware. We got to use a timeout early on here in the 3rd quarter.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see as this game progresses here if that timeout early here in the 3rd quarter comes back to be something Delaware wishes they had in their pocket. Especially not now going for it, bringing out the punt unit. You know, do you almost say, hey, we'll just take the 5-yard delay of game penalty, save that timeout? Maybe even gives us a little more room for a coffin corner punt here. That's a bit of a head scratcher for sure.
So the timeout is taken, and instead of going for it on 4th down and 4, Brendan Locke will come out. For the 3rd time today, Jackson Harper back to return. 5 punt returns on the season coming in. Locke will try to pin UConn deep here. No pressure. It'll bounce, and it'll take a Delaware hop. They got to get to it now, and it should be down inside the 5. It will. So a nice job by Brendan Locke pinning UConn inside the 5. But now we're going to see a very powerful offense back on the field for the UConn Huskies. 325 total yards of offense in the first half.
Yeah, with Joe Fignano obviously leading here in the second half. UConn being down 4, backed up in their own. What are they on? Their own 4-yard line. This is a big series here coming out of half for UConn. And likewise on the other side of the football for Delaware and their defense. Are they able here to get a stop with UConn backed up to get the football back with really good field position to be able to go try to get 3, 6, or 7?
Cam Edwards comes out. Seen a lot more of him. Mel Brown left the game in the first half, has not returned. Opening possession of the second half for UConn, and Cam Edwards gets some room out to the 8-yard line.
Yeah, he swivels around there a little bit, gives them a little bit more breathing room. A nice rush here by Cam Edwards. Now he doesn't have his heels in his own end zone, always a good thing. Delaware's bringing in some fresh bodies. This is where you start to see a little bit of the chess match coming out of half of what adjustments were made, who's playing well for us.
Manny Rojas, the defensive coordinator for Delaware, as Vignano being pressured, avoids it. Flag is thrown as he scrambles his way for first down yardage, but will it stick?
Yeah, I think this is a clear offensive hold.
Holding, offense number 73. Penalties half the distance to the goal, second down.
And that penalty on Wes Ho, who's on the watch list for the Remington Trophy as the nation's best center. Spent some time at Syracuse before coming over to UConn, but that'll back up the Huskies, and they will not get the first down on the run by Vignano.
Yeah, and he has big Keyshawn Hunter on him there. Does Wes Ho, and Keyshawn, one of Delaware's better interior defensive linemen, a guy that has the ability to make sacks from that defensive tackle, nose tackle position. Big Keyshawn got the best there of Wes Ho and backs him back up again.
Makes it second down and 10 from the 4. Vignano throwing, and it's caught by Jokio Bowman. Gets to the 10-yard line, going to be third down here.
That's a really nice catch by Jokio Bowman. Vignano is going to get a little twist here, blitz. Stands in there, knows he's going to take a bit of a shot. Brings up a third and manageable here now, Scott.
South end zone making some noise to the back of Joe Vignano. Crowd making some noise on this beautiful day for football here in Newark. It's third down and 4 for Vignano. He pumps, looks, throws, Bell's open, slips, and incomplete as Vignano. It was short to Bell, who looked like he might have had some room to turn and pick up that first down. Instead, Delaware gets a stop.
You know, this is the first one today that I think Joe Vignano wants back. He almost kind of guides that pass and doesn't just let it fly, let it rip. Get that ball in Skylar Bell's hands where he's able to puncture, get upfield for a big first down. And now here you are, backed up punt. This is something that is drilled down upon as, hey, we're not getting this block. We're not giving up a safety. We got to get this ball off, and UConn does.
He does that Stutz for the third time today. Delaware without Jake Thal returning punts, and Duplessis does the job. Delaware football when we come back on ESPN+. Seven touchdowns in the first half. Couple punts to start the second half of football. Scott Klatskin, Fritz Stuber with you. Delaware will start on their own 46-yard line after no return from Kyrie Duplessis. Minakuchi swings it to Ellison, and he dropped it. He had some UConn players coming down on him. Maybe not the worst drop, because I think they would have lost 4 or 5 yards had he caught that one.
Yeah, this is going for a tackle for a loss, and Nick Minakuchi here is really, I think, trying to get this ball to go down the field, but brings up the incompletion. We've seen some defensive adjustments here as Delaware's bringing on Joe Silver back into the football game. It's going to be a matter of who takes the checks and who can make a play here to get some momentum going again.
And they'll flip it over to Silver. Silver, far side of the field, picks up a couple. Quickly, it's 3rd down for Delaware. So maybe the defense is settling in a little bit after some adjustments from Matt Brock and Manny Rojas, the two very talented defensive coordinators here today.
When we met with Coach Brock from UConn earlier in the week, he's obviously been at a lot of different programs, has a really nice history as a good football coach, and is so pleased at how hard his guys play, and they're a tough, nasty group. And you're getting a real look of it here coming out of halftime with the adjustments. UConn's flying around playing really good defense.
Delaware needs 8 yards. Pressure coming. Minakuchi trying to avoid Parham and cannot. A sack for the UConn Huskies, and they come up huge on 3rd down and 8.
Yeah, and you know, I on my vantage point up here, this looks like he almost gets Nick Minakuchi up around the face mask. I heard a lot of Delaware fans below us here making up. I think he gets him clean there, maybe a little bit around the horse collar, but a really nice play by Brian Parham, one of their leaders on defense. That's a huge play. Coach Mora loves it. And brings up another punt here, Scott.
And that's the 4th sack of the season for Brian Parham, transfer from Washington. And they'll give it back to Connecticut. Takes the Huskies hop, and Delaware falls onto it. We'll take a break as the scoring has slowed for now here at Delaware Stadium.
This river wasn't dammed in a day, and GMC trucks weren't built overnight. Like every American achievement, they are a result of dedication. Over 100 years dedicated to the art of engineering and the ambition to always move this country forward. Get 0% APR plus $2,600 total value on this Sierra 1500 model. Plus, current eligible GMC owners get an additional $3,500 purchase allowance.
These two teams have met 27 times. The last time was 27 years ago. This series history sponsored by Easter Seals, serving all ages and all abilities throughout Delaware. Well, the last time these two teams got together, there was also a whole lot of offense. Matt Nagy threw for 358 passing yards. Oh, that was in the first half. 556 total passing yards for Matt Nagy. Eddie Conti caught 354 of those yards. An explosive day at the top of Delaware's record book.
Yeah, we thought here first half, hey, look, we might have a part 2 to this. Yeah, you mentioned Eddie Conti. 401 all-purpose yards in that football game the last time the Hens and the Huskies met on the gridiron.
And some offense continues now as Fignano finds his man out of bounds. Lewis Hansen with the reception. We thought we were on pace for maybe another Matt Nagy and Eddie Conti day. It slowed a bit here to start the second half, but 7 touchdowns in the first half. Matt Nagy, of course, has gone on and done some amazing things as the coach in the NFL. It'll be Edwards getting first down yardage, hit as he gets to the 35. This is a rivalry They met 5 times in the 90s. UD brings a, now delayed by 27 years, but 5-game winning streak in this series into this matchup. They played each other 6 times in the 80s, 6 times in the 70s. So these two teams, when members of what they used to call 1AA, simply
the Yankee Conference,
were
Atlantic 10.
rivals. Yeah. And so they bring it back. I thought Delaware's done a really good job of scheduling some former teams. Temple will be later on, and James Madison will play against Delaware again. This is one of the rivalry matchups that I think the fans in Newark were excited to see, and they've got a treat today in a close contest. Fignano looking for his favorite target, Bell. He almost came down with that with one hand. Would have been an amazing grab, but the true freshman, Jamarion Koligbody, was there in coverage to make it difficult.
This is really nice pressure and really nice pitch. Just not able to come down to this because of really nice defense on the outside there. Bell's not able to go up and get 2 hands on that football. And Scott, back to your point a little bit, it's also good for a lot of these players too as well. Delaware, UConn recruiting the same region. A lot of these guys are, whether they're from New Jersey, from New England, from Delaware or PA, it's good to have these guys that have kind of grown up with some of these rivalries at the high school level to now be able to do it again at the collegiate level as well.
Gavin Moll's one of those guys from Pennsylvania. He makes a stop on Cam Edwards, trying to turn the corner, but hard to do so when the junior from Bethel Park is crashing down on you. It'll be 3rd down and long for UConn as we approach the 6-minute mark of the 3rd quarter. 52 points in the first half and none so far in the second half, as adjustments always made in the locker room.
Gavin Moll is obviously a guy that is a real sideline-to-sideline linebacker here. We'll see if he's in action here on this big 3rd down.
UConn needs 8. Fignano spins it, knocked around, and KT Say come up with it. The interception, did he get the foot down? And a flag is thrown as well.
A late penalty flag. Looks like pass interference, which the fans here at Delaware Stadium are not in agreement with. And on first look, it looks like he gets his head back around.
Pass interference, defense number 21. The penalties decline. Result of the play is a 1st down.
Penalty on Anthony Crenshaw. We're going to get another look. Here's Gavin Moll, as we talked about right before the play, on a blitz. Man, that's...
Wow, what a catch it would have been for KT Say.
It really would have been. That was an interception.
I think they got a couple things wrong there. I think Jamarion Koligbody was the player that the penalty was called against.
I agree.
I believe the penalty would be accepted, because if not...
The ball being intercepted.
So obviously the penalty negates the interception there, I think, is what we're hearing, obviously. And boy, that's a big penalty for Delaware.
The official initially said the penalty was declined, and that would not be the right call. It would be accepting the penalty against Delaware. Otherwise, KT Say would have a highlight reel interception his second of the season.
And Delaware's missing a bunch of guys here lining up on defense. We get another look here. That's a bang play there.
But the drive continues, as that was a 3rd down conversion. Now Fignano throws to Bell. He's got room to run at the 40 and drag down. That's a penalty, an easy one for the officiating crew there. No confusion that time around, as he was grabbed at the back of his jersey.
Yeah, and Bell's slow to get up here. You know, this is exactly what the horse collar tackle is. We're trying to get this out of the game as much as possible, because it does lead to a lot of these lower body roll-ups, ankles, knees. Bell's popped up. He's walking off on his own power.
Horse collar, defense number 19. The 15-yard penalty will be assessed at the end of the run, 1st down.
So I think they're getting the calls right. I don't know if necessarily they're getting the numbers right here, but either way, Delaware's got to clean up their act defensively.
Yeah, Delaware brought pressure there on that play, and
that's Kayshawn Cox, number 6, who got in there.
Well, it's good to see Bell walk off. He looked like he's going to be able to probably come back in this football game, and UConn's going to need him for sure. He's their game breaker, and obviously a big chunk play there. You get the extra with the penalty. Fignano's found a bit of a rhythm here. And if you're Delaware, you're trying trying to pump the brakes here a little bit, see if you can get a tackle for loss, something to slow this momentum down.
Back-to-back penalties against Delaware, and now it's Rosa. Ball pops loose, flag down. Malumba picks it up. He's on the run, has the quarterback to beat, and he stays up momentarily before being brought down at the 32-yard line. There is a flag as the fumble popped out.
That flag looked like it was thrown before this ball squirts out of this pile.
This is a big call.
Yeah, this is
Holding defense number 52. 10-yard penalty results in a first down.
Boy, you get a real sense there the Delaware faithful are not happy with this one. I'm not sure where the holding is here, but that ball is clearly out. You know, obviously there's no review here on a penalty call, but let's see if we can get another look here. I don't see a defensive holding anywhere here, Scott. Again, that's a huge call that goes against the Blue Hens. If you're UConn, you're absolutely thrilled. And here you are, you're getting yardage on penalties where you're knocking on the door here on the 10-yard line, 1st and 10 from the 10. But a massive, massive call and what would have been a huge turnover for the Delaware defense in a big run back.
After the penalty, Fignano finds a man in the end zone, and they take advantage of getting the football back. Delaware picked up a fumble. The penalty gave it back to UConn, and UConn gets back in the end zone. They take the lead.
Yeah, really nice play here by Joe Fignano on a little play-action pass. He's able to find Romello Murphy in the back of the end zone on a crossing route. You know, if you're UConn, you kind of weathered that storm a little bit. You got some good calls to go your way for sure. You obviously had the horse collar, which was a big penalty. And you're able to get 6 there, going for 7.
Chris Freeman's on for the extra point at 5:05 in the third quarter, and it's up and through. So UConn up a field goal now. The crowd making some noise after 3 straight penalties. Keep the football in UConn's hands, and Fignano, you give him enough tries, he's going to make something happen.
Yeah, you give him enough opportunities. Again, that's a really nice play. He's throwing that ball into a window with some traffic, with some stuff in front of his face there as far as action. And that's the veteran. That's the 7-year quarterback that knows he's played the Blue Hens before. He knows what he's seeing. And obviously Coach Carty is unhappy to have a lot of those calls go against them. But, hey, they're going to have to answer. If you're Delaware, hey, we're in this football game. We're hanging in this football game. We've been leading this football game. There's no reason, I think, for them to feel any different about where they are in this game. And it's going to be a matter of if UConn's defense is able to rise again, which they have here for the most part for the third quarter, to not let Delaware get any momentum.
Coach Carty, in talking about the game against Colorado, saying we played hard but not clean, certainly in that second half. And that was not a clean drive for that Delaware defense. 3 penalties in a row sets up UConn for a touchdown score. 7 plays, 79 yards, taking 2:47 off the clock. And Joe Fignano for the first time into the end zone. And the other touchdowns have all been on the ground. This one will bounce in the end zone. And we'll see what Delaware has to offer up on offense. They've been unable to score in the second half after taking a lead into the locker room.
And there's a lot of energy here at Delaware Stadium. UConn's fired up. This will be a really big drive for Nick Minicucci. What does he have as the leader here to be able to stem a little bit of this bleeding? What kind of plays? Who's going to be the guy for him? Is it going to be Kyrie Duplessis? Is it going to be Jakari Kelly? Obviously, Joe Silver next to him in the backfield.
And so Minicucci and Delaware out of the field after the touchdown drive by UConn. Snagged by Wilson, trying to circle around, loses footing, but picks up 8 on first down.
Yeah, Wilson has had a handful of targets here today for the redshirt freshman. Having a nice game. becoming a guy that's being very reliable for Nick Minicucci.
Wilson had 2 catches a season ago. They were both for touchdowns. Silver knows something about TDs. He has one already today, and a big run there. It looked like there was an opportunity, or you start thinking now when Silver has the ball, can he take it the distance? Had some space. Nice job of UConn to catch up to him.
Yeah, you see his burst there, but he came up a little bit lame there at the end as he picks up the edge there on the sprint out.
Minicucci on the rollout, knocked away that time as he was looking for Jakari Kelly. Brinson gets his hand on it.
And Joe Silver does now trot off to the sideline. Looks like he's meeting with the trainer.
Damon Brinson, second time today, he's got a hand on a pass. He had an interception coming into this one. The only interception by UConn on the season. The senior from Miami, Florida, 4th season with the Huskies.
Yeah, and if you're UConn, you're hoping for a timely sack by Omar Diamonde and company here.
Here's Ellison with Silver on the sideline, at least momentarily. And Ellison on 2nd down and 10 makes it 3rd down and about 4.
3rd and manageable. You probably say to yourself, you have 2 downs here as we get a look at Ellison getting downhill. A lot of hats on hats there for the Delaware offensive line. I'm sure Rush Rogers at home probably likes watching that one. If he's still awake, it's prime nap time, though, Rush. I hope you're tuning in, buddy.
Rush, the newborn son of offensive line coach Chris Rogers. And now on 3rd down. See what Coach Rogers and his offensive line can dial up, and some good blocking leads to a 1st down for Delaware there.
Really physical run here on a critical 3rd down. Just an off-tackle zone. UConn's having some trouble on the back end, making sure they're getting the signals. As some pressure looks like it's coming.
And it is, and down goes Minicucci. That was Taekwon King, who snuck in there. 1st season transfer from Temple, and he gets a big sack for UConn.
Yeah, we just said it a couple plays ago. What a timely sack that is for UConn and Taekwon King. It brings up now a 2nd and 18. You don't obviously need half of this back here with where you are field position-wise, but we're getting to the late hours here of the 3rd quarter. You'd like to see Delaware be able to get a chunk play, an X play here.
Ellison trying to provide that as he was unable to provide the block for Minicucci on the last play, and he picks up more than what they lost. So it'll be 3rd down for Delaware.
Yeah, this is a really nice run by Ellison to get out on the edge. He's getting some great blocking downfield. I think that's Connor Widoff out on the edge for him. Number 41 for the Blue Hens.
And a good sign for Delaware as Joe Silver going to re-enter the game. And we thought maybe we spotted him hobbling off after a big run, but he is healthy.
Re-entering the game, and he's split out down here to the bottom of the screen as a wide receiver with an empty set here, spreading UConn out here on a critical 3rd down as he motions back in towards the backfield.
Minicucci will fake the give to Silver. What a play defensively by Antonio Harris, who came across and knocked over the quarterback who was trying to drive his way to a 1st down.
Yeah, really big play here by Antonio Harris. Look at it as he chases down Minicucci from the backside. And Minicucci, man, he lands pretty awkwardly there. And it looks like Delaware's going to go for it here on 4th down.
Delaware 3 of 5 coming into this game on 4th downs. This one's 4th and 5 as we approach the 1-minute mark in the 3rd quarter. And UConn taking a 2nd half lead. Minicucci rolls out, throws, pass caught, 1st down, Delaware.
Kyrie Duplessis there on another sprint out from Nick Minicucci. He clearly likes throwing the football on the move, and he's very good at it. Gets his shoulders square. Great pitch, great catch, 1st down, Blue Hens. Kyrie Duplessis, another timely 1st down.
Another conversion for Delaware as we go under a minute, 3rd quarter. Minicucci again, high for Duplessis. Duplessis again, a 1st down pickup, back-to-back from the transfer from Coastal Carolina.
Back-to-back 1st downs. This is a touch high, but Nick Minicucci, a little play-action pass, bang, rips it in there to Kyrie Duplessis. And now the Hens have a little juice. They got a little momentum as they're moving the football down the field here.
Duplessis goes up over 100 yards, his first career 100-yard day. And this could be the final play of the third quarter as Minicucci and the Delaware offense have a first down. Joe Silver, can he find pay dirt again? He will!
What a way to close out the third quarter. Joe Silver, patient run here. What an answer for the Blue Hens here.
Joe Silver's second touchdown of the day, and this time it's from 18 yards out.
Yeah, a little back action there as Joe Silver is patient there and then just bursts to the goal line. The man is dialing it up now, Scott.
What a contest we've got here in Newark. 34-31, now some movement as this game has gone back and forth.
And it looks like Coach Carty's turning back to his sideline. Is he considering going for 2 now? Doesn't look like that's going to be the case. He's going to say stick with the 1. And I would say the sheet would say that makes a lot of sense, Scott. So
we get the official call from Ronnie Burnett, who was just talking with Nate Reed.
Offside. Defense in the neutral zone causing the offense to move. That penalty's declined. We play into try.
And that's become a point of emphasis this year, is these quick bursty movements on a defensive line to try to draw a guy off sides. Something you're going to see all throughout college football this season.
Locke will hold. Reed will get it up and through. 35-31 the score as we head into the fourth quarter. You will not want to miss what the final 15 minutes brings us in Newark. And Joe Silver getting us there with the score. it on Delaware's side. Edwards on the side of the Huskies. But in the end zone for the third time.
Down. Delaware's fired up. You can see that just about a yard and a half short here. Delaware's going to bring in some big bodies here for what looks like a heavy set from UConn.
Mike Burton in for some extra physicality behind Fignano, who's under center. Cam Edwards gets a touch. He slips prior to the goal line, and it'll be 4th down from the 1.
And Dominic Bronya gets in there really quickly for the Hens to disrupt this one in the backfield, as this almost is a tackle for loss, but he's able to squirt back pretty much to the line of scrimmage. Obviously, UConn's going to go for this here. And Delaware Stadium's getting ready to explode here, Scott.
It's Fignano to the air this time, and it's caught. A touchdown for UConn to retake the lead in the 4th quarter.
Great play design. Delaware is selling out to stop this run. Joe Fignano, just such a vet, is able to just lollipop that one up there for 6 to Alex Honing. And UConn answers, man, we are back in 4th here.
And what a play call, what execution by Fignano. The whole stadium thinking Edwards is going to get the carry. Alex Honig gets a touchdown instead, and back and forth we go in this one as UConn with the extra point. Now it's the Huskies up by 3. We've got 9:54 left in the terminal winner here in Newark. Honig, the tight end, with the score.
Delaware Imaging Network is Delaware's most trusted and preferred imaging provider. When you need fast, accurate results, trust the team of experts at Delaware Imaging Network.
Sarah Benzino, Brandon Coley, Jablonski Auto Body, LLC.
Yeah! Woo! What'd she call Harper?
Oh, you mean Jablonski Auto Body, LLC.
We actually sold the twins naming rights.
You know, like stadiums do. Kids are so expensive these days. Here he comes.
Oasis Breeze Tan and Spa.
Yeah! If you need a tan, I'm your man. Could do business with you.
Or we can look at some investment options for you.
Works for us.
The right money move.
The upcoming schedule, sponsored by Dart. Download the Dart Transit app today from the Apple Store or Google Play. First Conference USA game coming up next for Delaware on September 20th down in Miami, and then the Conference USA slate starts for UD. For UConn, got a Conference USA slate of sorts as well. As you can see, they'll play FIU also on October 4th, but Ball State next on the docket for UConn. I'm sure David Letterman will be watching that one, a famous alum out there. But don't worry about what's next. Let's worry about the next 9:54 on the clock, because this is about as exciting of a football game as we could ask for here in Newark. Back and forth it's gone. And right now UConn holds the lead at 3, 38-35 after a 10-play, 75-yard drive. It's Delaware's turn as their offense will come out onto the field. So many scores, so many big plays in this one. And like we said, it might just come down to who has the football last in this one, the way things are going.
It feels that way, Scott. And the thing that I'm really impressed with both teams is it's not been one side or the other. It's been we can run the football, we can pass the football, we're getting stops when we need to. Nobody's really shot themselves in the foot with mistakes and penalties. Delaware obviously had a few that were tough with the horse collar and then the fumble where they had the defensive holding. It's going to be a matter of who is going to be able to execute here with 9:54 to go.
Delaware will start on their own 25-yard line. Just under 10 minutes left to play, and it's Wilson with another catch. About 8 yards on first down, wrestled out of bounds. The redshirt sophomore from Alpharetta, Georgia with another grab.
Yeah, we met with Coach Carty. We know how big his play sheet is, but we've seen this all day. Nick Minicucci's able to just 1, 2, 3, whip it out there for 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 yards. You know, if you're UConn here, are you thinking about putting a guy up on the line a little more? We're seeing it now here towards the bottom of the screen, a little press coverage to not let Delaware get these quick, easy completions.
On second down, it's Ellison. Ellison shifting and picking up the first down for the Hens.
Yeah, this is a nice patient run by Ellison as UConn's going to bring a little bit of pressure. Kind of fills the hole. I think he does take this one backside. And if Connor Widoff's able to maybe make a block there, that thing might spring.
Latu was able to make the stop, and fresh set of downs for Delaware at the 9-minute mark in the fourth quarter. A rivalry being renewed this afternoon in Newark. These two teams hadn't met for 27 years, and it's been worth the wait. Minicucci, some pressure coming, steps up, and a flag is thrown as he passes nearby Elijah Sessoms.
Yeah, that's in the realm of offensive holding as well. Just got done talking about, hey, who's not going to shoot themselves in the foot? That's a big penalty.
Personal foul, face mask, defense number 11.
I stand corrected.
15-yard penalty, automatic first down.
Donovan Branch with a face mask here. See if we can get a peek of it. Oh, sure. Yeah, is that on Dembowski there? Yeah. Well, that's a swing there, Scott. That goes from what I thought was an offensive hold to a huge first down for the Hens.
A 15-yard penalty puts Delaware into Connecticut territory. And a little trickery as Kelly gets slowed up and they'll lose yardage back into their own territory as not faked out on the play. Brian Parham, who's having one of the best games of his short season.
Yeah, Brian Parham's flying all over the football field, and this is almost one that gets almost a little too cute. We confused the cameraman a little bit here, and this obviously goes for a huge loss for Delaware, but a great play by Parham.
And you send Tyree in motion, and you showed Tyree last week, Delaware, at Colorado, 3 touches against the Buffalo Sea. You got to be aware of him, and you think maybe flipping it to Kelly will get you an X play. It goes backwards, though, and it'll be second down and 19 as Minicucci will step up high for Duplessis, and he's not brought down quite yet, still on his feet, and that's first down yardage. Way to not give up on the play. Kyrie Duplessis, who's having a career afternoon here in Newark.
And that brings the crowd right back into it here at Delaware Stadium as Kyrie Duplessis is able to make a really big play here. Coming across, makes a guy miss here. I think that might be Parham. Boy, we got a really good football game here, Scott. This is entertaining.
The 8th catch of the day for Kyrie Duplessis, the graduate transfer from Woodbridge, Virginia. Gets all of second out of 19. Here's Minicucci. Wilson this time, spin cycle as he gets to the 25-yard line.
Yeah, you talk about a breakout game, obviously, for Kyrie Duplessis, but here we're seeing it here for Wilson as well.
And this group of wide receivers and Nick Minicucci doing it all today without the efforts of Jake Thaw as the player goes down, and we'll take a break as a UConn player gets looked at. Fourth quarter action, 7:19 to go. Vincent Carroll Jackson, the sophomore defensive lineman from Nebraska. He walks off, and now Delaware's offense walks back onto the field on 2nd down and 1. Ball the 25-yard line with 7:19 left to go in one of the more exciting football games you will see so far this season. And that man, Nick Minicucci, thrown for 230 yards. A look to add to it here. Lofts one, and again, there to break it up is Damon Brinson, who has his 3rd pass breakup of the day. But there's a flag at the line of scrimmage.
This looks like it's going to be pass interference on that pass to Elijah Sessoms. Although Coach Mora, I think, is disagreeing, or maybe it's not pass interference. I don't know what's going on here.
Ineligible player downfield, offense number 75, 5-yard penalty, remains 2nd down.
It's Noah Roshak, whose former teammates at Syracuse. Got a victory over UConn a week ago. Roshak's first season here with Delaware.
Yeah,
not going to see it there.
Yeah, I think he does as they keep kind of running. I think this is a two-way, the classic RPO there, where that ball might have to get out a little quicker. And then it obviously backs him up here for a 2nd and 6 now.
Minicucci tosses behind Wilson, who was not ready for it, nor was Cam Chadwick, though. The sophomore cornerback from UConn, who led all UConn rookies with 47 tackles a season ago. If Chadwick's turned around, then that could have been a turnover. Let's take another look.
Yeah, I think Minicucci just misses him here. This is a little, he's sliding a little bit in the pocket. Might feel that pressure coming from Brian Parham there. Yeah, Chad. If Cam Chadwick has his head turned around, that might be a boomerang.
Kelly goes in motion on 3rd down. Minicucci looking, pumping, throwing, diving, incomplete. It's Sessoms. It'll be 4th down and 6. Decision time for Delaware, who's had a kicker struggle with field goals in Nate Reed, missing on 2 tries so far this season. But Reed's going to try to come out and change that for the Hens here.
I think you have to really try to kick this field goal, and I think Nick Minicucci there, you probably didn't see it on screen, but afterwards he's working his footwork a little bit there because he just wasn't set. He didn't have a good base to make that pass to Sessoms.
To tie the score, Reed from 47 has it up, but no good, and UConn gets a stop with 6:50 left to play in the 4th quarter. We'll take a timeout. You're not going to want to miss the finish here in Newark. From 47 yards out, Nate Reed cannot tie the score. Now UConn back on the field, holding on to a 3-point advantage. Vignano spirals, and Bowman with a first down pickup for Delaware. They knew the struggles of Nate Reed coming into this one. He missed his first 2 of the year, a 28-yard miss at Colorado and a 47-yard miss against Delaware State. That could have tied up the score, but now UConn holding on to an advantage.
Yeah, UConn really trying to set one up there, too, to Skylar Bell on a real post route that Joe Fignano just didn't like it, and obviously makes the big play for a first down. And if you're Delaware here, you're okay. You have to be able to get a stop.
Putting it on the ground. Cam Edwards has had a heavy workload today, as early in the game, his running back mate Mel Brown went out. He has not returned. We saw Victor Rosa a bit, but it's been a heavy dose of Cam Edwards this afternoon. That's his 19th carry.
Yeah, and he just continues to fall forward. A really, really good football game from Cam Edwards.
Vignano rolling out now, just dumps it off to his tight end. That's Hanson that time. We talked about the depth at the tight end position for UConn, and they've got 3 guys that have played well today.
Yeah, really well, and this is where Joe Fignano is going to be incredibly dangerous. The veteran quarterback, he's not going to put the ball up for grabs here. He just dumps this one off. Big first down. You know, if you're Delaware, you need a guy to make a turnover here. They need a ball on the ground. They're saying to themselves, hey, we need to step up and make our big play and not let Joe Fignano move the ball all the way down the field on us.
No turnovers for either team today. Ryan Carty is 20-0 and winning the turnover battle as head coach of Delaware. Here's Bowman, his first carry of the day. And Hassan Manning was there in on the stop for second down. But you're absolutely right. You're UConn. You go to Joe Fignano and say, hey, you're our 7th-year leader. You're the veteran. You've played at Delaware Stadium. You've been here for so long. You played here when there were no fans in the stands during the spring of 2021. Yeah. So go secure that football for us.
Yep, and a nice tackle there by Hassan Manning, a really nice safety for the Blue Hens. They're going to need those guys to make some plays in space here.
Edwards for the 20th time, and he picks up a first down, grinding his way for a little bit more towards the 30. I've been impressed with Cam Edwards today, the redshirt junior from Norwalk, Connecticut, a Connecticut native, and in his 3rd season with the Huskies, doing a lot.
Just bouncing and barreling around here. I mean, what a physical football run here. Again, it's been a while since I've seen him not fall forward, and that's so huge here for UConn.
Edwards wide this time, and good pursuit by the Delaware defense to not allow him to turn that corner.
Yeah, great pursuit as Jockio Bowman looks like he's limping off the sidelines there. You know, Coach Moore told us, hey, our guys are tough, they're in shape, they're fit, and you're really getting a sense of how athletic, how fit this UConn offense here is in crunch time.
Khalil Ali in on the last 2 tackles for Delaware. UConn coming off an overtime loss to Syracuse, trying to win a close one this time. Approaching the 3-minute mark. And they'll keep it on the ground. First carry of the day for Oliver Lundberg Coleman, the redshirt freshman. And he almost got him enough, but it'll be 3rd down and short.
Yeah, nice run here. You don't often get to say this guy is from Sweden, but that's where he hails, and brings up a critical 3rd down. We got Skylar Bell here in the slot. Looks like he's going to get man coverage. Be interested to see if Fignano looks his way.
Huge snap of the football coming up. 10 on the play clock.
UConn changing the formation, maybe changing the play.
3rd down. Edwards gets hit, stood up. Delaware makes the stop.
In fact, I think this goes for maybe a half a yard loss. UConn doesn't look like they're thinking about kicking this. They might be taking this down to the 2-minute timeout. What a play by Dylan Traynor to fly in there.
And it was Dylan Traynor. Who else would you go to? We talk about Joe Fignano leading the team, being a veteran.
Please reset the game clock to 2:16.
2 extra seconds on the clock going to be added. But you talk about Joe Fignano as there's a timeout on the field. You talk about Joe Fignano as the leader for UConn. The same can be said for Delaware's defensive leader in Dylan Traynor, a 6-year veteran and a captain who makes the play.
The graduate player for Delaware has been flying around all game. He's obviously had a storied career here, and that's the kind of play that you expect somebody that's been in your program that long to make for you if you're Delaware. And it's going to bring up here a 4th and 2, which is dang near the ball game here, Scott. Boy, you get a real sense here of Delaware Stadium and the juice on a critical 4th down.
Fignano on 4th down to the tight end. It's caught reaching for the stick, and he's short.
It's a turnover on downs. He reaches for it. A great one-handed catch here. Fignano's able to get it to him, but he is short. It's a turnover on downs. Delaware football, 2:10 to go in this game, down by 3.
What a finish this sets up here in Newark. UConn comes up shy on 4th down, and now Delaware at home hosting an FBS opponent for the first time since the 80s will have the Rock and a chance to win the ball game.
And KT Say, the guy with the green dot, makes the play there for Delaware, giving Nick Minicucci in this offense an opportunity to go win this football game.
2:12 remaining, the 2-minute timeout coming up. Delaware will have 1 timeout remaining after that. Nick Minicucci takes a snap to start the drive. He's hit hard. I don't know how he held on to that football. Another sack, the 3rd of the day for Brian Parham.
Boy, Brian Parham is shot
That's the 2-minute timeout.
And that'll bring us to the 2-minute timeout, but not the way Delaware wanted to start what could be their final drive. 38-35, we got a close one coming to a finish here in Newark.
Oh, Scott, this is what it's all about. UConn back in town. Delaware down 3.
We are in for a finish. It's 2nd out of 19. 2 minutes left Minicucci being pressured, steps up, dragged down. That's back-to-back sacks by UConn. And time running down on the Hens.
Big timely sack. I think this is, that's Donovan Branch, who's had a nice game.
Third down and long. Minicucci steps up. He's going to tuck, but nowhere to go. Just trying to jump towards the out of bounds to make fourth down a little easier. But 90 ticks left, and you get a stop defensively. You get the ball back, and just not the way you would want the start of this drive to go. Now you're in a position where it's 4th and 10, and you have to convert for the game.
Yeah, and this is where those penalties, or those timeouts that early, if you have those in your back pocket here. But it brings up really what is the ball game here for the Blue Hens.
Delaware needs 9 to stay alive. 90 seconds left. Down 3. Minicucci has time. Tosses. That could be a penalty, and it is. Cam Chadwick early in defense of Jakari Kelly. The Hens are alive.
Yeah, I think Cam Chadwick is here a little early on the hip.
We'll wait for the call, but we saw it up here in real time.
Yeah, I think he is early here, but I think they're just trying to figure out the yardage here potentially, or what number.
Pass interference. Defense, number 13. The ball replaced at the spot of the foul. Automatic first down.
Boy, and you really get a sense here of how lively this stadium is here. This is a unique and fun environment here. And we do see the early there by Chadwick, who obviously doesn't like it. But it gives the Blue Hens new life.
Fresh set of downs for Delaware with now 1:24 left to play. Down 3. Minicucci across the field to his favorite target of the day. Duplessis and the Hens are into UConn territory, and you're going to tack on 15 more.
And that's going to be potentially a targeting here. Definitely unnecessary roughness, but a heck of a catch by Kyrie Duplessis. And we have an injured Husky. I think it might be, can't tell if that's Moa down there.
It allows everybody to catch their breath a bit with the injury stoppage on the field, and then figuring out this penalty as well.
A personal foul, targeting, defense number 3. That play is under review.
Damon Brinson, the senior DB here, as we get a look at a really great pass here by Nick Minicucci. Lays it in the basket as Kyrie Duplessis goes up top. And, Brinson's trying to make a play on that football and knock that one out. Curious what the booth thinks there.
It's the third time that a targeting call will go to review against UConn today. Jim Mora and his club up by 3, but the last couple plays have led to penalties by UConn, and Delaware in position to try to take a lead or send Nate Reed out if they need to for another try at things to tie the score.
Yeah, and with this targeting review here, the second look of it probably doesn't look as vicious as it did live, especially with what he hits him with his shoulder. But they're clearly taking a good look of it here. And we're going to get a call here right now.
After review, the contact was shoulder to shoulder. There is no targeting. Result of the play is a first down.
And that's really what we saw there on the replay, Scott, of shoulder to shoulder. We'll get another look of it here, but great pass by Minicucci. Duplessis obviously goes up top and gets this one again. And this is football, man. It's violent. There's contact. It's a heck of a play by Duplessis to hold on to that football, because that's a heck of a collision there.
So they don't tack on the penalty yardage, but the completion sticks. Another 26 yards on the day for Kyrie Duplessis. He's up to 161 yards receiving. Silver's got 164 on the ground.
And if you're Delaware, you got the one timeout, $1:17 here. You obviously need a lot more yardage to get in comfortable zone for Reed.
Minicucci taps his feet, throws it high, and nearly intercepted. Broken up by Wilson that time. And it's the guy that they just went to the monitor for, Damon Brinson, who has been all over the place today.
Brinson can fly around. He has the only INT on the team this season and almost has the game sealer there for the Huskies.
Brings up 2nd and 10. Still plenty of time for Delaware, trailing by 3 in a game that's gone back and forth. Almost 1,000 yards combined of total offense. Hens looking to add to that number. They swing it to Silver, and what a tackle in space. Who else? Damon Brinson.
Yeah, Brinson, and looks like Joe Silver is injured here. And frankly, Scott, that's a missed block by Sessoms there. Otherwise, that play is a lot of room to run there, and you hate to see Joe Silver. Looks like he's in some pain there.
He's going to walk off on his own, but...
And it brings up a 3rd and long here now, too. 3rd and 13. You hate to see it. A $1:05 left.
Now, Delaware already on this
we're going to get a
drive.
look here. Sessoms just isn't able, and Brinson's flying downhill. He's a guy in space that's, he's a heat-seeking missile and makes a really good play there, and you hate to see that. What looks like a banged-up knee there for Joe Silver. Here we are, 3rd and 13.
Now, you remember on this drive already, they've had 3rd and 17.
Right.
And obviously still alive. Minicucci picked up 8 when it was 3rd and 17, then a penalty kept the drive going. Now with 65 seconds left, 3rd and long again. 3rd and 13 for Delaware with Silver out.
Due to the injury, this qualifies for a 10-second runoff. Please reset the game clock to 59 seconds. The game clock stopped at 1:09. Reset the game clock to 59 seconds.
And obviously Delaware doesn't want to burn their timeout there. That's one of the newer rules within the last few years here for college football. But still, time is not the problem here for the Hens. You need to get first downs. You need to get closer to be able to read an opportunity, if not into the end zone, if you're Delaware.
Minicucci throws to an open man. It's Ellison, and he's close to a first down. Going to be a yard shy, 4th and 1 for Delaware as the clock ticks under a minute.
And this is obviously the ball game here, 4th and maybe inches. This is a nice dump off by Minicucci to Ellison, who's, that's a close spot there.
Well, they're going to have to go for it. They don't feel comfortable with
and this clock is running
field goal unit right now from this distance. Minicucci going to get it for Delaware.
He gets it. The clock stops with 17-16. It's still rolling, but
they didn't indicate first down, so a couple extra ticks came off. They should look at where to stop this clock.
Because we're under, I think that ends with 17 seconds on the clock.
Result of the play is a first down. Please reset the game clock to 18 seconds.
18 seconds.
These officials are on it. Rodney Brunette leading the crew. The referee you've heard from today.
Hey, I'm on it too, man. We're in this one here. This is a heck of a close to this football game.
18 seconds remaining. Delaware down by 3 with the football, 32 yards away. Here's Nick Minicucci. No one open. Tosses it towards the sideline, and incomplete. It falls. 11 seconds left.
And that's almost too much time to take off there. You got to get this ball in and out quick. Play takes a little bit to develop. He works through his reads here. You got to have that clock in your head if you're Nick Minicucci to say, hey, I got to go 1, 2, 3, and I got to throw this thing. Completion, get down. We need more yards here. And it looks like Joe Silver's coming back for the Blue Hens.
Silver went down a couple plays ago. He's been a star today. Back in. Can he shine one more time? They'll put it on the ground for Silver. And they'll use their final timeout with 4 seconds. Just trying to set up an opportunity for Nate Reed to come out and tie this game.
And they do here. My guess is that Nate Reed likes this ball on the left hash.
Timeout, Delaware. That's their third. 30 seconds.
And it's going to set up the biggest kick that Nate Reed has ever had here at Delaware Stadium to try to tie this football game with 2 seconds on the clock.
Nate Reed, 0 of 3 this season. He's missed twice from 47. He missed from 28 at Colorado. But he is more than capable. In his career, he's made one from 41, and he was 7 of 10 a year ago. Noah Vitko with a huge snap. Brendan Locke will hold to tie the score at 38 on what will be the final play in regulation. It'll be from 43. Nate Reed is the kicker. Kick is up to tie the game and send it into overtime. Nate Reed sends it to OT.
And this place is absolutely rocking, Scott. I think that got over by the length of a football. What a clutch kick by Nate Reed to send this one into bonus ball here at Delaware Stadium as we get a look. Just sneaks it in there over the crossbar into the corner. Big kick by Nate Reed, and we got captains meeting on the 50 for overtime.
We'll be back for overtime football in a moment. Knotted at 38.
Choose the best provider to care for a seriously ill loved one at home? Start with experts offering a full range of services for different stages, all the way to making life's final months more comfortable. Then choose local experience, like a provider who's been serving this region for more than 40 years. Also find experts focused on a caring mission instead of profit. It all adds up to only one choice: Delaware Hospice. Positively your best choice for care at home.
Before the 12 driver assist systems, before the 7 passenger seating, the Airmatic adaptive suspension, and the predictive AI technology, it starts with the same simple philosophy: to deliver the world's greatest vehicles. The 7-passenger Mercedes-Benz GLS. Even standing still, it's moving forward.
No deferring. What is your call?
Heads.
Heads. It is a tail.
Defense.
UConn will be on offense first. First down.
Well, you just saw how we got there. Nate Reed with just enough to send it to overtime on a 43-yard field goal to continue what has been just an incredible afternoon here in Newark.
So Delaware elects to go on defense first. And if you're UConn with Joe Fignano, a veteran quarterback, a guy that's going to deliver the ball on time, we've said it over and over today, you got to have a ton of confidence in number 2, who's also got Cam Edwards next to him, who keeps falling forward for yards. Be interested to see what we have here in overtime.
UConn will start with the ball, and it's Cam Edwards. More than 20 carries on the day. KT Say with the stop. Last time Delaware played in an overtime game, Joe Fignano was merely a freshman in college in 2019. It was up in New England, around Connecticut. Delaware played against Rhode Island on September 7, 2019 was their last overtime. That one went 3 overtimes. And Al Fignano and his ball club have it. Second down, 6 yards to go in overtime. Back-to-back weeks for overtime for UConn. And getting inside the 5 is Lewis Hansen for the Huskies.
Yeah, Fignano finds Hansen here, really works through his progression nicely. This is certainly a botch on the end. Hansen goes in motion. Nobody follows him out to the flat. Huge completion there, brings up 1st and goal.
Edwards was denied a couple times on goal-to-go situations in the 4th quarter before ultimately they found Alex Honig for a touchdown toss, and that time he can't get past the goal line on his first carry there.
Yeah, Delaware's been pretty stout inside in these goal-to-goal positions here, as you see again, with quick, immediate pressure by Jack Hall. Blake Matthews in on the tackle.
From 2 yards out, it's Fignano throwing to the tight end, bobbled this time. And Hansen, who got him inside the 5, couldn't finish the job that time around.
Yeah, Hansen not able to bring that one in. A little high, of course, but one that you'd like to see him come down with. Maybe Fignano rushes this one. No, just high and over the shoulder. 3rd down.
UConn lost a week ago. Syracuse in overtime, 27-20. They find themselves in OT again. Bottom of your screen is Bell. Edwards is the running back. 3rd down and goal from the 2. Bell in motion. Fignano looking, pressured, and down he goes! Ethan Saunders, the captain.
Saunders, Jack Hall. Great pressure right away. He's looking to get to Bell in a crosser, unable to do so. And Saunders is able to clean it up for the Blue Hens, and they're going to kick this to get 3 points on the board for UConn.
It's Chris Freeman, 3 of 4 this year on field goal tries to give UConn an overtime lead. And UConn gets points, but not a touchdown. And so a TD from Delaware would win it.
A TD wins it, and boy, is Coach Carty now salivating. Has the whole playbook open. We need 6 points here to win this football game, boys, as we're going to get another look here of the sack. Jack Hall pressure right away. Joe Fignano not able to get out of that one. Ethan Saunders able to finish it off. And this stadium here, folks, is absolutely rocking. Coach Moore and his defensive staff, hey guys, we need a stop of our own here. Make them kick 3. Let's go play double overtime.
Delaware knows 6 would win it. They'll start with Silver. He's got some room and pushed out along the sideline, which starts with a 9-yard pickup.
Seen this play run a few times today by Delaware. They love getting Joe Silver on the edge with some speed. Makes a guy miss there. Subbing in some guys. You gotta love 9 yards on an opening possession there.
Silver, good to see him healthy. He had to come out momentarily in the 4th. Now we're in overtime. Silver motions. Minicucci will pick up the 1st down, a little extra push. So Delaware will have a 1st down, and they'll be able to pick up another 1st without scoring here.
Yeah, that's quarterback run the entire way. Nick Minicucci's obviously going to just pretend he's going to flick it out there and just go straight downhill. And you get a sense here that Delaware's saying to themselves, boys, we're coming downhill, and we're going to go win this football game. And you're getting that kind of effort from Nick Minicucci at quarterback.
What an afternoon it's been. Delaware down 3 at overtime. A touchdown wins it. And it'll be Minicucci again. This time UConn is there. I think the first player to reach him was Marquise Black. Harrison on the tackle as well.
Yeah, and I think it's really important to point out, too, that last week in the loss to Syracuse, that UConn had 2 red zone turnover on downs. So they're really stout down here as well and deserve a lot of credit for what they do. They've seen this play 4 or 5 times as Minicucci gets tackled pretty awkwardly there. But red zone defense is something that UConn does extremely well.
Empty for Minicucci. Silver in motion for a 3rd time in a row. It's Minicucci. This time he finds the end zone. Nick Minicucci wins it for Delaware. Welcome back. FBS football inside at Delaware Stadium. The blue and gold victorious.
Scott, I'm not sure there's a better scene this weekend in college football. These fans, this program, what a win for the University of Delaware Fighting Blue Hens. A great football game. Credit to UConn. Delaware's going to take it 44-41 in overtime.
Let's watch it again and again if you're Blue Hens faithful.
Well,
Minicucci.
It's something we saw all day. They love running Nick Minicucci downhill, and everybody's getting a piece in the end zone.
What a day. It took decades to have FBS football back in this stadium. FBS on FBS. 1989 was the last time an FBS team came into Newark. And it was worth the wait for the excitement we got today. That man helping out, Joe Silver.
Scott, what a football game. Really enjoyed calling this one with you. Great environment. Heck of a win by Nick Minicucci and this Blue Hens team. UConn falls back-to-back weeks in overtime. Tough loss for them. Great win for the Fighting Blue Hens.
Here is the final play from Nick Minicucci. 3 carries in a row, and no one is going to grind harder than that man, number 4, wearing the blue and gold. He could have been the player of the game. Duplessis had a great game for Delaware. A lot of candidates, of course. The player of the game brought to you by Delaware Orthopedic Specialists, the official orthopedic partner of University of Delaware Athletics. Well, for the first time since 1989, the Blue Hens defeat an FBS opponent inside of Delaware Stadium. A rivalry renewed, a win streak extended. This is the 6th in a row for Delaware over UConn, although they had to wait 27 years to do it. We'll say goodbye from Newark once again. The final on this one, Delaware 44, UConn 41. A big thanks to our producer, Caleb Flieger, and the entire ESPN Plus production team working on this broadcast. For Fritz Stuber, I'm Scott Klatskin saying goodbye from Newark, where Delaware wins in overtime. All games airing on the ESPN networks are streaming live and archived on the ESPN app. This has been a presentation of ESPN.